welcome everyone to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
How are you doing this fine Thursday evening, Grumpy? I was about to say Sunday. Oh, gosh, I guess I'm wishing the weeks away. But how you doing this fine Thursday evening, Grump?
Nice hat.
Thanks.
We also have another new member of the podcast.
I do. I see today we're going to be joined by the first time by Son X.
Son X.
That is right. I am very happy to be on this legendary podcast. Thank you so much.
Oh, there it is. He's not even had his first debut, and the listeners already love. He's already a fan favorite, Son X. That's for certain.
I think he's a fan favorite because I've sold him as someone who attacks TJ, which seems to be what most of the people who listen to this show do anyway. So now they have a conduit to vent on TJ, a live conduit, and it's probably going to get ugly. And I'm probably going to have to tell Son X to just chill it out a little bit because he's a little bit of a live wire.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, you sell Son X. Well, he's got lofty expectations to live up to. That's for certain. But for those of you who are new to the show, welcome. This is a twice a week all sports podcast that takes place every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're new to the channel, we invite you to stick around a while. We invite you to subscribe on YouTube, to like on Facebook, and to follow on Twitter. Also, if you enjoy the content, the best way to let us know you're enjoying what we're doing is by leaving a thumbs up. Apparently, it helps the algorithm and gets mine and the grumpy old man's word out to the masses. Isn't that right, Grump?
That is correct.
You and your algorithm. That's what
apparently it makes the Apparently it helps the algorithm.
Apparently it does. That's correct. Today we've got quite a bit to talk about, as we always do. We've got some news. Tom Brady retiring for the second time. Looks like Tom Brady finally done. Joe Mixon in some trouble with the law once again. You don't like to see that.
I don't know. I just have a question about Joe Mixon. It's if you had Joe Mixon coming up to date your daughter, as a father, what would you say? I mean, he has trouble with the ladies.
He does, for whatever reason. He does have some problems.
He packs a heavy punch.
He packs a heavy punch. That he does.
Well, yes, he does. But we'll also talk a little bit about the NFC and AFC championship games where the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and we had a situation where the Eagles steamrolled the 49ers. So we've got some football to talk and getting prepared for this upcoming Super Bowl. There's a lot to talk about here. So, I guess without further ado, Grump, and I guess Son X, let's talk a little bit about Tom Brady. Tom Brady officially retiring, and it was done via one of these almost corny type of videos.
But it wasn't a corny video. Okay. It was a little Instagram thing.
He was definitely emotional in that video for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Here it is. But I mean, it's like, you know what this is like? I know you don't watch any more Opie and Anthony, but this is like what Greg Opie Hughes looks like these days, Grumpy. He just goes on the balcony and he goes out there towards the beach. He's like, hey guys. He's just like, I feel like he's talking at like this. I don't know. I figured he would have shot somewhere a little bit more professional, just out towards the beach, or was like, hey, I was out there taking a stroll on the beach and I came across, I finally determined that I'm done playing football. I don't know. It was an odd. I don't know.
Just play the video.
Okay, we'll play the video here, Grump.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good.
No.
I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year, so really thank you guys so much, to every single one of you, for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
Love you, Tommy.
Jesus Christ. You about to start crying there, Grumpy?
No, one thing I noticed. Now, you thought that this was too simple?
I don't know.
Okay.
It wasn't what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting like some grandiose type of retirement speech, but at the beach, where it's just like I went for
That's not a beach,
walk.
dude. That's his backyard.
I just went for a morning walk at my $27,000 a month rented apartment or wherever the hell he's staying these days.
$70,000 a month.
Oh, 70. I'm sorry. I don't want to downplay it, but
just one or two. Just one or two off.
Here's the thing. For me, I look at it last year, that Harpy Giselle was still involved going, no, Tommy, you need to have a big, manly, tell the people what everything means to you. That's really not that's not who he is. When she was dressing him up in the little gold outfits, that's not who he is. I thought what you saw in that was just a guy who just realized it was over for whatever reasons. I think he maybe would have considered playing in Miami, perhaps. But Jeff Darlington reported today that he was never going out west. He said it was probably only going to be Tampa or retirement. And would you go back to the Succaneers after as bad as they were last year?
No.
I mean, because he's still got all the ball talent, the ability to throw the ball that he's always had. I think he still could have led a team to a championship if he was in the right situation, but Tampa was absolutely not that situation.
Here's the thing. You asked me kind of what I had expected from, I'm walking away. I was not expecting a video. I wasn't expecting something that needed to be as well thought out. I was expecting a little post and then maybe something like a few days later. How most people do it. That's how most people do it. They make like a post on Instagram or make a post on social media.
Well, that's what he did.
Well, he already said that he already made that post, 2 years ago.
I don't know.
Last year he had like 8 screens of whatever. It was a big blown out thing. And you remember last year, what did I say as soon as he said he retired? What did I say? I said he's not retired. This one here, he's done. You can tell. Well, he's not playing again. I don't think he's absolutely still a top 10 quarterback in the league. Is he the number 1 guy anymore? No, he's not. And you know what? Father Time he defeated Father Time.
Oh, even this year,
he's 45 years old.
He did not defeat Father Time because he's done, Grumpy.
He could still play.
Nobody
could still play. He could, if he wanted to, he could still play. And in the right circumstances, the right situation, he could win you a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady could have probably been playing until he was 60. No issues.
Well, I'll bet he probably could have played at least another couple of years. I just say if you ask me, in the last 2 minutes of a game, down by 5-6 points, whatever it is, who would I want as my quarterback today? I'd take him as the quarterback today.
You only did it multiple times this year.
I mean, he had 4 fourth quarter comebacks this year. And here's the thing, Tampa Bay was historically bad. You watch them next year. They're going to break the whole team up, I feel. They don't have a quarterback. It's going to be, again, the musical chairs at the quarterback position. And now there's a big hole out there where Brady was. Now you're really shuffling the deck now. Well, it's going to be really interesting. And TJ, I've come around to thinking that perhaps Aaron Rodgers gets moved from Green Bay.
Oh, why? Thank you so much, Grumpy. It's about fucking time. Let's not jump into that immediately because I think he's as good as gone. He's not coming back to Green Bay. He's going to be moved. But I want to talk to you a little bit about Tom Brady. Now, Grumpy, how are you taking this? Now, you're a big TB12 guy. How are you taking this, man? The people's champion is now leaving. He's no longer the people's champ, Grumpy.
He's still always be the people's champion. It's funny. I was thinking today, for my life, there's been 3 quarterbacks who I just loved. 3.
Joe Namath.
No, Joe Namath was not my number 1 favorite quarterback when I was a kid. My dad used to go to all the Jet games. Sims. You going to let me tell my story, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell your story.
My dad used to go to all the, all the Jet games. He had season tickets. I think I've told the story on the show. The one game he took me to.
You sat there in a chair with some yoo-hoos.
But that's him and his buddies were up drinking all game. I sat down there. I had a 6-pack of yoo-hoos. They let you bring in there. I sat there right behind the New England Patriots bench when Joe Cap just got hammered in a game. I think Al Woodall was the quarterback for the Jets, and it was a rough day for Joe Cap. And that's the one game he took me to. So it was obviously I still remember it. So I had a good time. Mixing with the locals, shall we say? But when he'd always get me a pennant and a program whenever we went to the game. And the Raiders were my favorite team, even more than the Jets, because they had the coolest logo, the skull and crossbones. So I'm like, my favorite. And I got a program, and they had a picture of Darryl LaMonica, a still photo where he's lateraling the ball. He's got the silver pants. Of course, it's black and white with the white jersey and the black numbers, but you can feel it, right? And he didn't have the helmet on. I'm like, oh, I love that guy. Darryl LaMonica, the Mad Bomber, was my first favorite quarterback. Love Joe Namath, but Darryl LaMonica was my first favorite one. Then it was a number of years, not till the 80s. Phil Simms was my next favorite. And then just the last one, and probably the last quarterback that I'm going to follow, it was Tom Brady for certain. So it's like you get 3, and I got my 3. LaMonica, Simms, Brady.
I give him week 7 of next year before he's a big Joe Burrow fan and just can't stop slobbing all over Joe Burrow's knob. That's the new one that Grumpy's going to mark it down here first. We've already started to see Grumpy lay the groundwork for it. Joe Burrow is the next one that Grumpy's going to follow religiously.
I think Joe Burrow has a lot of Tom Brady qualities. That I do.
Tell me more.
He definitely is a winner.
Yeah, I was about to say, tell me more, Grumpy, because the more and more you talk about him, the more and more you talk about him, the more and more you're just ready to be like, he's going to be the next guy.
Go ahead, X. Tell us what you think about Joe Burrow.
I mean, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he has definitely a good wide receiver core around him, so he can be successful. I definitely see one, if not more, Super Bowls in his future. I think he'll definitely win one with that team, for sure.
Well, you never know with how things go with that cast and crew.
That's true. The scripting is unreal,
but Grumpy, now before we do want to talk a little bit about the games that we saw from the AFC.
Also, I'm just going to say, with Brady's departure, and I mentioned it last year, so I might be repeating some things because, he retired on April Fool's Day last year. I would have felt better if it wasn't April Fool's Day this year. Because he might come back. I don't know. I don't think so. I think you look at last year was so scripted. I think Schefter beat him the punch, and perhaps as well, I'm going to come back. It was miserable. It was a really tough year for him this year, personally as well as professionally, with that heartbeat Giselle. But where was he supposed to go? Right? Everyone was saying Brady to the Raiders, with Josh McDaniels there. Well, that's not going to happen anymore.
No, it's not. And you said that you're finally starting to warm up to the idea that maybe Aaron Rodgers might be on the move. Well, Davante Adams feels confident that, hey, he's looking in my neighborhood. Maybe Aaron Rodgers might be on the move to the Raiders, right? Some people were thinking maybe the Jets. That's why they hired Nathaniel Hackett. Maybe to the Raiders. I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of rumors for him to be leaving someplace, not to think that he's as good as gone out of Green Bay.
Nathaniel Hackett's with the Jets.
Yeah, I know. That's why he was being linked to the Jets is what I was saying.
I think he's going to the Jets.
Get ready, Jets fans. I don't know if that causes you to be excited as a Jets fan or a little perturbed.
The only problem with Aaron Rodgers, I said it before, is he's a douche. But other than that, he's just about how he looks. He's not a winner, even though he's won a Super Bowl. He's not a winner. He went on the McAfee show just a couple of weeks ago. Oh, I can certainly get back to the level where I'm winning MVPs. Dude, it's about winning Super Bowls. That's what set Brady apart from every other player in the history of the sport. Super Bowls, championships. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that in him. He just doesn't. Sorry. He's more of a me guy. They asked, he was on the golf course today. He says, hey, Aaron, what do you think about San Francisco? He's like, I'm not playing for the 49ers. He said, what's in your future? He said, not the 49ers. Okay, not going there. And he's exactly the type of guy the 49ers should be looking at.
Yeah, we'll talk about the 49ers and what's kind of happened there, what type of situation they're in. But I do think that Aaron Rodgers is as good as gone. So see you later, Aaron. See you later, Green Bay. And Green Bay, I mean, how big of a rebuild is Green Bay going to be partaking with him leaving?
They're going to absorb a $60 million cap hit when he leaves. That's a hell of a cap hit.
Yeah, again, it depends on when they trade him. We've discussed this.
It's 60 million, 60 mil.
It depends on when they trade him, Grumpy.
Again, he's going to be traded before the draft. If he gets traded, it'll be before the draft, not after. Because Green Bay is going to want those picks now. They're not going to want future picks. They might get future picks as well, but they're going to want picks in this year's draft, not next year's. Or not just next year, shall I say.
Before we start talking about these AFC and NFC championship games, let's look at some comments there. What's up, Frank? How are you? He says, what's up? He says, hello. Anthony Rizzi, grumpy old man.
Unfortunately, since old man Lou is going for it, realistic, what do you think his next move will be? A winger, a left-handed defense, and who? I still heard rumblings. Well, I personally haven't heard rumblings.
Grumpy old man has been getting called and text messaged by his connections in the league.
True.
Don Cherry still has Grumpy's telephone number and calls him on the regular.
Elliot Friedman. It say the Islanders are still one of the teams kicking rocks at Jacob Chikrin. Now, is Jacob Chikrin a good solution for the Islanders going forward? Yeah, he is. He's only 24 years old. He fits the model of a guy who I'm willing to trade for because of his age. Absolutely. The problem is the Islanders don't have anything of value to trade for him. So even I don't think he's in the cards, regardless of what Friedman is suggesting, right? Whoever the Islanders trade for in the next 5 weeks is going to have to be someone that you're going to have to get on the cheap. And that's why I'm saying, you might get yourself another whoever, Zdeno Chara type for defense, or
Arizona, if you think about it, their rebuild, I don't think they're too concerned about how the team's looking when they're still playing in Mullet Arena. I think they're in a spot to where they could say, great. Because remember, Arizona has quite a few draft picks in this 2023 NHL draft. They could say, yeah, give me your second this year. Give me a second. They could find a way to make that work. I'm telling you. Yeah. Jacob Chikrin.
But I mean,
he's not even the best defenseman in Arizona. Anytime we've played Chikrin and anytime we played Arizona, does Jacob Chikrin stand out? And almost resounding, the answer should be no. I mean, Shane Gostisbehere's had a better 2 years with the last 2 years with Arizona than Chikrin has. I'm just telling you.
Okay. If you ask me if I'd have Gostisbehere or Chikrin, it's Chikrin. Chikrin's a better player than Gostisbehere. Sorry. Just is. But I don't think we have the ammunition to make a deal for Jacob Chikrin. Just don't. There's nothing left of value to trade. Nothing.
Anthony Rizzi, grumpy.
With the People's Champion retired, who do the Raiders go after in the offseason to replace Carr? Okay. Well, Devontae Adams, pretty obviously who he wants, right?
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers. That's going to mean that they're going to have to trade away the first pick in the draft, because I did some research on the Raiders when I thought the People's Champion was potentially going there. They need help in the offensive line, and their defense is really in a shambolic state right now. So for me, if you don't get Rodgers and whatever he's going to cost, right? They do have cap money. He'd have to take some type of pay cut to go there. So I think the next best option,
cap money.
He's going to have. They have cap money right now.
Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry. I was
when they get rid of Derek Carr, if they don't trade him, they're trying to trade Derek Carr, which would free up like $30 million in cap space plus the 20 that they have. They're in pretty good shape, right?
Yeah.
But if they can't get if they can't come up with the pieces or don't feel that the pieces that they have to give up are worth Aaron Rodgers, I think you see Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler think about maybe another old hand that they know in Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh my God. Could you imagine
just,
Jimmy G going to the fucking Raiders?
Okay. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's absolutely not going back to San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan said, they asked him about Jimmy Garoppolo. He's like, that's not happening. So, okay. Where's he going? He's familiar with the Josh McDaniels offense. The problem, of course, with Jimmy and what's the thing the Raiders have to do this year? Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels have to win games. They can't have another year like they had last year. They're going to lose their jobs.
Correct.
So I don't think that they're going to draft a quarterback at number 7. Okay, let's say they don't get Rodgers, because if you trade for Rodgers, you're giving up that number 7 pick overall. So let's say they don't do that. You bring in Garoppolo, and then you go, okay, we're going to get some offensive line help, maybe through free agency. I don't know. Or they can draft the best defensive lineman there is. A defensive line's terrible. They need cornerback. They need linebackers. They need everything. They're bad defensively. So I think those right now are the 2 main options. It's Rodgers. That shoot for the moon is Rodgers, and then Garoppolo. It won't be Derek Carr.
Yes. No, it definitely won't be.
Not after today.
Yeah, I've got that clip. But I can't imagine Jimmy Garoppolo being the answer. Let's be serious about it. Jimmy Garoppolo is a game manager quarterback at best, and that doesn't answer.
Jimmy G still makes rookie mistakes. That's the issue with Jimmy G.
He does. And now this, I'm not sure if you had a chance to listen to this, Son X and Grumpy, but Grumpy, you alluded to that you did. This is what happened during the All-Star, the Pro Bowl, because the NFL Pro Bowl is taking place right now, and all the fan activities and then the player activities. But this is, Derek Carr not going back to Vegas. That's pretty certain.
By himself. Listen, Derek, you've thrown touchdown passes in Vegas before. You've been on fire. Have you ever been that hot in Las Vegas?
Not that hot. It's probably why I'm going somewhere else.
Nice. That's probably why I'm going somewhere else. What could have been better is if he started crying on stage again. Derek Carr, Grumpy.
I feel bad for Derek Carr.
Why?
Because think about how many offensive coordinators and coaching changes he's had over the years there. It's tough when you keep on changing systems year after year after year. Do I think he's, top 5 quarterback in the league? No, I do not. But I think the fate has kind of dealt him a bad hand a little bit.
It dealt him a better hand than his brother.
Well, he's better than his brother.
Yeah, well, it's tough to say. His brother, how many times did his brother get sacked on a year? I think he had the most. He was sacked more times in one season than any other NFL quarterback in the history of the game.
Yeah, David Carr when he played for the Texans.
I mean, it's hard to tell what a guy can do when he's got like PTSD because he gets hit every single time he drops back like that. We never really know what David Carr could offer.
Well, but who's had a better career? Because the Raiders haven't been much better, honestly, over the last decade.
Better than that Texans for that expansion Texans team.
Yeah, well, what can I tell you? Then they brought in Watson, and he was fine there. They won division titles with him. Another guy who has problems with women.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he just likes massages. It's fine.
Was that Son X?
I said he just likes massages. It's fine.
Just a few massages there. Joseph C. Grumpy.
Is the final straw? Is the final show for TJ? Does Son X take over full time? Son X and the Grumpy Old Man, where Grumpy still gets the small letters in the thumbnail.
Maybe. I don't know. No, we're not going anywhere. But Anthony Rizzi says here, my thoughts are the Jets get Rodgers, the Saints get Jimmy G, and the Titans or the Colts get Carr.
I mean, the Colts last offseason were interested in Derek Carr. That was when Frank Reich was there. Maybe Carr goes to the Panthers, perhaps. The Titans there's a lot of open spots for quarterbacks. The Saints, I don't think they have money enough to bring anyone in. They do have some extra draft picks now. Maybe they draft a quarterback. I don't know. But I mean, they're going to have to make some moves. And I think Woody Johnson wants to make a splash, have him go after Aaron Rodgers. Not going to win anything, but they should be better. I mean, the Jets have a really good roster with the exception of the quarterback position. And what does that mean for Zach Wilson?
You don't think Zach Wilson is the answer? Exactly.
I mean, but, maybe
where does Zach Wilson go?
Well, maybe they keep Wilson because Rodgers isn't going to be – he's 39 years old. He's not going to play forever.
I don't know. They're in a spot to where they've got to.
I just think Rodgers would really struggle with the New York press. I think that'd be something he's not used to.
He's not used to, and on top of that, if things don't, you're right. If things don't start off great for him, he's not a guy who likes the press at all to begin with. He doesn't like the press in freaking Wisconsin. I can only imagine when that New York press starts asking questions. I'm sure he's not going to make too many friends in that New York press room. That's for certain. And I can imagine that be a living hell for all parties.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it'd be fun to watch, though. I'll tell you what, it'd be fun for us to watch.
It would. Drew L. Grumpy.
Grumpy, as much as I voiced my displeasure for Brady continuing to play at 45 years old, let me make something clear. He's no longer the people's champion, but he's the people's GOAT.
Oh, looky there. Drew's trying to make it there.
You probably will not hear us talking too much about the people's champion after today's episode.
Yes.
Maybe about him pushing his clothing line, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think that's not this type of show, Nicholas. I don't think we talk about clothing lines too often. But yeah, it's on X. Yeah.
They had Robert Kraft did a little walk on CNN today, and they asked him about Brady and all that stuff. And he said, we want him to sign a one-day contract, retire as a Patriot, blah blah blah. They could have had that happen. All they had to do was offer him 2 years, $25 million per, and he would have stayed there his whole career. Belichick talked Kraft out of it, and Kraft sided with Belichick. How'd that work out for the Patriots?
It's better for all parties that happened. They weren't winning another Super Bowl in freaking New England with him at quarterback. Come on.
You don't know.
And Brady wins the next year.
So what does it tell you? Where's the problem lie?
The problem lied with the cast and crew not being good enough in New England.
And who does that fall on? Who's the GM?
Falls on the general manager.
Who's the GM?
Yeah. Okay.
Bill Belichick.
That's what I'm saying, though. You keep on making mistakes like that. You let the greatest quarterback of all time go. You let the roster slip into disrepair, and then you blame the quarterback. I mean, but here's the thing. I want to talk about. You listen to Robert Kraft. He's like 82, 83, whatever he is. And he's starting to, how you get that old man voice where they start kind of talking like that. And it made me think about Lou Lamoriello.
I was about to say, kind of sounds exactly like Lou Lamoriello, who you're talking about.
Lou's starting to slip a little bit, and I'm scared to what he's going to be in 2 years. Not saying that he's, not going to be smart or anything, but, as you age, you're just not as sharp as you used to be. That was the first thing I thought. I'm like, oh boy, Lamoriello's right there with him.
Wicked 50 Cal says, what's going on, guys? What's up, Wicked 50 Cal? Tony G says, what the fuck is he wearing on his head? Son X, Grumpy.
That's Son X.
What's he wearing on his
maybe he's talking about.
I think he's talking about your loser hat there.
Oh, shit. Maybe Tony G is talking about what's on my head.
That's exactly what he's talking about. Who's they say? Shit Panthers? Is that it?
There it is. Oh. It does. Tony Cheese. This is a baseball hat right here. Nick D said, we don't get to see Son X. Yeah, well, you could thank Grumpy. Grumpy didn't get something that he was supposed to have gotten for Son X for the show, but
it's true. I have to get something for Son X for the show.
Tisk.
Here you go. Drew L. Grump.
Son X is ready to play tag team to dump all over TJ like it's WWE.
There it is.
Absolutely.
Anthony Rizzi says, "Thank God Brady's finally gone."
I know Anthony is a Jets fan, so I understand why he's happy that Tom Brady's gone. So it's one less whipping that they have to take every year. I understand.
Goon Grumpy.
Sunex, how does it feel to finally be on the show? Is the feeling akin to Nystrom's State Cup winning goal, or more like giving up a shorthanded goal in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals?
A mixture of both. No, I'm just playing. It's great. It's great. It's wonderful to be on the show.
Oh, don't worry. You don't have to lie, son X. Joseph C. here. Yep. Joe Mixon doesn't like women. That's for sure. Pointing a gun at his girlfriend. What is he thinking? Imagine the clusterfuck that would have made if the Bengals made the Super Bowl. Let's talk about that. Joe Mixon back in hot water again with the police and not getting along with his significant others. Some may have remembered the first time that Joe Mixon popped up onto the scene many years ago, back when he was a star running back at the University of Oklahoma, where his girlfriend slapped him in the face at a bar and he went ahead and broke her jaw. And, well, I don't think he missed any time with that. Or maybe did he miss some time at the University of Oklahoma, Grumpy, for that one?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't remember if he did or not.
He missed. I think he missed some time. Yeah, I could pull that.
The video is damning evidence, though. He definitely reared back and cocked her in the face. She was knocked out pretty bad.
It's one of those that people sometimes forget that Joe Mixon did this to his significant other at the time.
Can we? I'd love to roll a videotape on that, just because, you know, Joe, as I mentioned earlier, if Joe's knocking on your door, you go, "Hello, Mr. Smith. I'm here to. I'd like to date your daughter today. I'm taking her out. Who are you?" "Joe Mixon." And you see him, he's putting on the brass knuckles. He's got the gun in the holster. "Don't worry, I'll get her home early before 12 o'clock.
I'm just wondering when the Jake Paul fight is going to be booked. That's what I'm wondering.
God. Well, here's the thing, though, Grumpy. You said before 12 o'clock. This video right here on July 25th of 2014, this is at 2:30 in the morning. So he didn't get her back before 12, and we see what happens here in this situation. So,
that's why she didn't want to leave.
Who knew that Oklahoma was such a pop in town that everybody's out at 2:30 in the morning? I mean, it's a lot of people there, right?
Yeah, a few. Let's see. Here's Joe walking in.
Uh-oh. Hello. What you doing?
Talking to the waiter or something like that. He's like, "Get the hell out of here, Pipsqueak."
Get out of here, Pipsqueak. He dropped her like a bad habit, and then he leaves.
Yeah, well, because he's like, "I just punched my girlfriend at the time period and probably..." I don't know what was worse, the initial impact of the punch or her face hitting the freaking, what was worse, the punch impact or the impact of her face nailing this table right here. You see the after pictures of this, like her jaw's wired shut for weeks on end. And this is the first time that he's had a little bit of an issue. This was the first time he had an issue with, his ex, but we'll put it in slow motion so you could see it really slow down. An upstanding citizen, Joe Mixon.
It was the 1-2 combo. Definitely
there
the 1-2
is.
combo. I was going to ask if they were still together.
No, they're not.
That's a little push, and he's having none of it. Oh, she slapped him. Boom. That is
1-2.
And everybody's like, "Hey, what happened?" There's a girl with a hand on her mouth. Oh no,
nobody does.
Nobody even moves.
Guy, because everybody think is so shocked that this happened. But I'm like, what?
Probably they thought that they were going to be next.
Yeah, my God.
That's probably right. He's bigger than everybody in there. Somebody should have done is taken a chair and smacked him over the head with it. That's what they should have done.
Oh, they should have maybe done something to stop this maniac.
You know what this reminds me of?
He's not intoxicated. Joe Mixon's not intoxicated.
No, he is sober.
He's sober look at the way he's moving. He's sober as a bird. And he's just going ahead and saying, "Okay, because my girlfriend slapped me on the chin real quick, I can just go ahead and punch her as hard as I want in the face." That's not how that works.
Like a bad habit. Boom. Boom. I mean, that was a good shot, man. He knocked her right out.
Yeah. So that was the first time Joe Mixon had the little run in an issue with his significant other.
It cost him draft position.
It did, because he was a second round
absolutely
running back.
But
He was good
the
at
NFL,
Oklahoma, really good.
I mean, and the whole thing is what the NFL says, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Didn't miss any time in the NFL. But this is what happened
right after the Bills game.
Yeah, this is what happened just most recently today. Joe Mixon has been issued an arrest warrant on account of aggravated menacing. Never even heard of that before. But aggravated menacing, and more information has come out. The warrant out for Bengals Joe Mixon alleges that Mixon pointed a gun at a woman, I'm sorry, in downtown Cincinnati, according to local reports. Mixon allegedly said, "You should be popped in the face. I should shoot you now. The police can get me." Yeah, not a good look for Joe Mixon. He might miss some time next year with this.
But here's the thing. It happened right after the Buffalo game. So does the NFL do anything about it before a big game in the AFC Championship?
This happened before the Buffalo game.
So he played in the Buffalo game, and they let him play in Kansas City. If that's not typical NFL, I don't know what else is. Now, here's the thing. If they had gotten to the Super Bowl, do you think that he would have been arrested then?
I think they could have waited 2 more weeks before it was released.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. They know where he's going.
They probably would have tried. I think
he would have played in that game.
Yeah, they would have tried.
But you know that the NFL, you know the NFL's aware of this, and they just ignore it as usual. They just ignore it.
We don't want to rush to judgment on this one. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I don't know. This is a guy with a checkered past, does something again that's questionable at best, even if right, because maybe this isn't the full truth. Maybe it lies somewhere in the middle. Can't be whipping out your gun saying, "I'm going to go ahead and shoot you. You deserve to be popped in the face." Like, it honestly should as well tell you a little bit about where your mindset is as a player and, towards the success of the team. You don't have the right mindset. You're not focused on team success when you're going out there getting in mix-ups and altercations with, I would assume, just everyday civilians.
It just tells me he's not a good guy. He's not a good guy.
No.
Not a good guy. No.
Good running back, but not a good person, right? Who threatens anyone with a gun? Just why?
It seems to always be women.
Well, he can probably beat most women. He's intergender champion.
True.
There it is. But so Joe Mixon, I assume he deserves to be suspended for a certain time period next year. Yeah, that's all really I could say about that, if that's true. It doesn't look good for him. Not good look for the Bengals, but Joe Mixon.
Bengals, not Bangles.
The Bengals, Grumpy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So Nick D says, TJ the Curve in Sun X. How are you guys doing tonight? Do you think there is a contract out on Lou Lamoriello? At least I thought of termination. Grump.
He's the guy pulling the punches. He's the one dangling the string. So no, there's no contract out on him, but there's probably a contract out on others, courtesy of him.
Oh God. Yeah. Tony Cheese saying, laugh my ass off. I love how TJ follows all the Opie and Anthony gossip. I'm right there with you, man. Who doesn't love a little O&A gossip these days? That's for certain. Drew L. You go, Grumpy.
TJ, I sent you some spicy things today, like a fan fight and Kevon Thibodeau stuff for Grumpy to rip all over him, since Grumpy clearly has a vendetta against KT. I don't have a vendetta against him.
Kayvon Thibodeau. Well, Shay did send a picture. Shay was kind of feeling a little upset.
Oh, yeah.
About Tom Brady retiring as well, Grumpy. So she did send this saying, thank you for the memories, Tom Brady. Oh, look who there. How does that make you feel, Grumpy?
That's a couple of times that Tom Brady lost. He did win 7 times, though. I mean, when you win more than any of franchise, you've been to 10. It's like, come on.
Oh, good gracious.
Should they name the trophy the Brady now?
Okay, this is what I think they should do. No, you're not going to change the name of Lombardi Trophy. I think the Super Bowl MVP trophy should be named the Brady MVP trophy. I absolutely think that. He's won 5 MVPs. He's won more MVPs than anyone else has even won Super Bowls. That's what I think. That's how you recognize him, I think. He was at his best in the Super Bowls, and I think that's what you name it, the Brady MVP award. What do you think, TJ?
And then you said this is just for the Super Bowl MVP?
Yes. Yep.
I can get down for that. I could be down for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. They got
it here first. Talk it into existence.
I've said that before. I said it last year as well.
I'm trying to
listen here, X. Don't think that you're the one leading the charge here, right?
There we go.
I've got a few. Drew sent us a few of these. My God, I don't even know where he finds some of this shit.
On the dark web.
Yeah, I was about to say, hold on, we'll pull this up.
Okay.
Hold on, what do you could still read comments, Grumpy, as I'm trying to get all this pulled up.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, geez. Okay, well, let's look at this. We got this. Looks like a fight.
This is
aggressive because we have a male in our group.
The only reason I gave anything to them is because they are women.
Because of me?
No.
It's because they were with me. Oh my God.
Lies.
They were with me.
No, I literally kicked you to the fucking ground right now.
You? Oh my God.
I hit you in the fucking face.
That's extra, so I will punch you.
Okay, call 911 because
don't hit me because that is extra.
Because the only reason I gave you anything is because you're with them.
Looks like she's been showing her tatas with those beads. Who's this freak?
Stop fucking saying that!
Oh man, Ronda Rousey.
No, I
She's got a few leg kicks here, they're roundhouse kicks.
I mean, she just threw the chicken fingers. That's a waste.
Oh my God, Maddox. Oh my God.
Oh!
I guess it's a whole bunch of talk, not much going on.
I just want to say one thing. If you watch television or movies these days, they kind of make it seem like any woman could kick any man's ass. When you look at real life, that guy was playing with her. I mean, and she tried to attack him, and he just flipped around like she was nothing. And here's the thing.
He needs to work on his form tackling.
Yeah.
He just went ahead and well, here's the thing. You can't go ahead and go Joe Mixon on a lady for that. You just kind of got to let her get it out there and just kind of diffuse and walk away is what he should have been doing. That's the best thing to do. So he handled it.
She charged him. He gave like the old Matador thing. Ha, ole, and into the bushes.
That's exactly. He didn't throw any punches, didn't like tackle her, just went ahead and just whoop. I'm going to use your momentum. We're going to throw you right to the ground. I'm going to stand up and walk away. Well handled.
The only thing he was guilty of was wearing that silly little costume that he calls.
Okay. What in God's name is this trade? I'm shook. I had to triple check, go to 19 different reporters to make sure that this was actually legit and actually just happened. My New York Islanders have traded Anthony Beauvillier, Atu Ratu, in a first-round pick for Bo Horvat. This is a kind of trade that will send us into a 5-year bottom barrel of the league level tank. Bo Horvat is having a great year, but this is a guy that is a career 55 to 60 point center, and we just gave up our best prospect in a first-round pick that will probably be top 15 minimum. Don't get me wrong, Beauvillier for Horvat does make us a better team. I still don't think we make the playoffs. And even if we make the playoffs in one of the wild card spots, we will get our teeth kicked in by either Carolina or Boston. This man has ruined this team over the past 18 months. I have never seen anything like this. The last 2 trades have been trading the 13th overall pick for a mid-second pair defenseman, probably a third pair on any decent good team. And then now this best prospect, probably another lottery pick, as well as a decent young player for Bo Horvat. What's the plan? Are we locking up Bo Horvat for 7 years, $7.5 million, and just going to be this 80-point team for the next decade? Even if we were in the playoffs safely right now, this is a horrible return. This is the kind of move that Florida last year makes, maybe Carolina makes this year, Boston makes this year. This is not the move that a team that missed the playoffs by 20 points last year and is now currently decently out of the playoff picture. Assuming the Islanders don't make the playoffs, and don't get me wrong, I am not going to be rooting against Horvat. I hope they go on to win the Stanley Cup and prove me wrong, but assuming they don't, and Lou still has a job next season, we got to boycott or protest the team. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of it.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
Sounds like
Grumpy
he's been
Sex?
watching the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man show on the Islanders Never Say Die podcast.
It does. It sounds like this guy might be a listener to the show.
Subscriber as well.
There it is. He's a
That's what needs subscribers. That's right.
Goon says, Son X, do you take rock and roll more seriously than TJ?
I dabble with it. I don't know like a ton about it, but I know some songs.
You know, it's funny, Goon, I'm surprised he didn't mention that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees list came out today. And I just looked at some of the names and I was just underwhelmed. It's now just a Hall of Very Good or Hall of Good or just Hall of whatever.
Who got invited that you don't think deserve to be there, Grumpy?
Iron Maiden for certain. Iron Maiden, no. There was a book I read where Iron Maiden was pumped up as two of the greatest albums of all time. No. If they were any good, they'd already be in.
What book were you talking about?
I don't want to say.
No, you cannot be speaking poorly of our good friend of the show, Greg Prado, Grumpy.
It was Greg Prado's book.
No, Grumpy.
It was his book, but he's a fan of Iron Maiden, and I'm not a fan of Iron Maiden. And obviously, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame isn't either because they've been around way more than 25 years. It's not like, the 25-year mark is up. Oh, we're going to put them in. No. I'm just surprised they even made the short list. Sheryl Crow. I mean, what's the best thing she's ever done? She married Lance Armstrong, right? Wasn't that it? That's the highlight of her life. Missy E? No, sorry. And
I need to go ahead and reach out. I need to reach out to Greg. He's probably going to be excited about this news. He may be celebrating. Greg Prado, if you're listening there, congratulations. We'll have to let him know. I'll have to hit him up in the DMs afterwards.
But
and
Goon is really, we know Goon's really big on rock and roll. I'm just surprised that Goon has not commented on the list of nominees so I could shoot them all down one at a time.
Oh, God. Not sure if you happen to see this. Paul Bissonnette, not a big Islander fan. And Son X, you may be familiar with this. Grumpy, are you familiar with Paul Bissonnette, not a big Islander fan?
He's not a fan of a lot of things, except Toronto.
Not an Islander fan at all. He does have a comment about the postseason and the picture around it.
I would love to see the Buffalo Sabres in playoffs. They're way more exciting to watch than the Islanders. The Islanders are the most boring team in the NHL. I do not want them making playoffs. I don't care if all of Long Island hates my guts. They are a snooze fest. Snooze fest.
I got to go back there. Come on.
Yeah, that's Liam's team, Biz.
And look who else is laughing. Old Jennifer Bottrell, who used to work for the Islanders. Anson Carter, who's worked for the Islanders.
Another commentary, yes. That's
They're
right.
Like, uh-oh. They're all smiling, yucking it up. They know. You're not invited back.
I don't think they're worried about trying to come back once they get to the spot where they're on NHL TNT.
They have to worry about if Lou's taking a contract out on them now.
Jennifer Bottrell smiled too hard. She's gone.
Look at Anson, man. He's smiling too.
I don't disagree. We do not play an exciting style of hockey compared to Buffalo.
No, Buffalo's fun to watch.
Joseph C. Grumpy.
Yep, Tom can enter his Leonardo DiCaprio phase where he's in his 40s and he won't date a girl over 25. Well, there's some girl who's like been openly throwing herself at him. I don't know her name. She's one of those model types. Fake boobs. At least it looks like fake boobs to me. What the hell do I know? They look a little bit too perfect not to be fake. So, and if they're not, hey, God bless you, honey. But she's been throwing herself at him for a while now. And when he announced his retirement, she said, "Oh, I love you, Tom Brady," in a bikini. So, I mean, I think she's going after him. Maybe she's just trying to be popular. I don't know. Piggybacking on the greatest of all time's success, perhaps.
I can't tell if this is the same lady or a different lady in every single one of these.
I'll know if you put her up. I'll know if it's her or not.
Yeah, God, hold on.
I think she's blonde.
Well, yeah. Is this her?
That's her. There she is.
So this is her. They got a few pictures there. This one here too, Grumpy.
I don't know if that's the same one.
Giraffe.
Maybe so. Yeah,
No.
that's her. That's
Okay.
her. She's politicking. She wants to be the new Mrs. Brady. She wants to take. Can you pull that up again? I just want to see her hands.
Hold on a second. Damn it. I got rid of it. Give me 1 second.
Also, Dak Prescott is dating somebody new who's 20. Goes to, I think, LSU.
Yeah, see, she doesn't have manly hands, not like that harpy Giselle.
She does have a different finger color paint on each one of her fingers. So watch out.
Maybe she's a catcher. Like they flash the signs.
Fastball. There. Sure, there it is.
Yeah, Tommy, give me a fastball.
Goon goon, Grumpy.
Son X and TJ, did you ever see Grumpy cry over the outcome of a sporting event?
Son X, I'll ask you first that question.
No, I've never seen him cry. I don't know if maybe when you were playing he might have. But over like a professional sport, absolutely not. No. I've seen him yell and use some vulgar language, but no, never over a professional sport. No.
So couth. I've seen him use some vulgar language.
I mean, I could just drop F-bombs if you want.
I think Son X is a little nervous. This is his first show. He's been a little quiet, a little subdued. Once he starts getting into that,
he'll find a rhythm. He'll find what we do. Drew L says TJ needs to change the title of the show, or the title of his podcast to Two Quarterback Meat Slobbers in Son X. Ooh, the meat slobber.
I like that title.
Hold on. Are you trying to say I'm a meat slobber?
Kenny
That's
Pickett.
Exactly what they're saying.
Kenny Pickett.
Old Spigot.
Oh, there it is.
Drew L says
it's only fitting TJ's wearing a Pittsburgh hat. Let me guess, he's going to talk some Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Woo, he's the greatest quarterback to ever put on. Grumpy, actually, he's not going to be polling for Joe Burrow. He's going to go ahead and find himself the new greatest quarterback of all time, Kenny Pickett. So, hey, the sunset on one legend, and it's rising on another, Grumpy. Jump on the Kenny Pickett bandwagon, Grump. Woo-hoo.
Then he would wake up. Be like, oh, what happened with that nightmare?
A D-Cut saying, good evening, all. What's up, D-Cut?
You know what? D-Cut's picture looks a little bit like Son X. Pull up. Look at that. Very similar. Very similar.
The glasses, yeah.
There it is. You guys do kind of look similar. There it is. D-Cut. Son X is D-Cut's long-lost son. Goon Grumpy.
Goon says Son X is Phil's facts. The strongest Islanders never say die guest, or merely the most controversial?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
Son X, do you know who Phil's the facts is?
I'm not sure. I've listened to a couple of the podcasts. I haven't listened to all of the Islanders Never Say Die podcast. I primarily listen to this one. This is the one that I listen to.
Oh my gosh. I tell you. So
sorry.
I would put him as most controversial. That's definitely for certain. Phil's facts is. D-Cut says Son X in the witness protection program.
Yes, that's true.
I am.
And My Little Brownie.
Finally, it's the premiere of Son X, but he's hiding from the people. What's that about?
Witness protection program. You heard it.
Yeah. Grumpy screwed the pooch on it. Goon Grumpy.
TJ, is this the first time in the show you ever donned a cap? Are you ready to attack?
I think I've worn a hat before, but yeah, I don't usually wear a hat.
That hat doesn't look like it fits.
You know what? The lovely Paige told me the same line of shit earlier. She said,
it doesn't fit
your head. It fits my head.
It doesn't fit your head. It doesn't fit your head. If I say it doesn't fit, guess what? That means it doesn't fit your head.
I think you and the lovely Paige are in cahoots working against me.
Look how
if he had more hair, it would.
Oh wow! Oh,
both you. And this is coming from Son X, who's follically challenged like all of us. Yeah,
I have way more hair than you do.
TJ covering his bald head, so Son X doesn't.
There we go. See.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Here you go, Goon.
Son X, do you look up to TJ as a hero at times?
Yes, of course.
Oh yeah, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I did. And then sometimes he's just a goof. So.
Yeah. Joseph C. Grumpy.
Excited as a Jets fan if it happens, talking about Rodgers. Jets fans complaining about getting Rodgers is so dumb considering all the crappy QBs we've had since Chad Pennington. I think it'd be here's the thing. It's absolutely a move the Jets should consider. They're a quarterback away from being a contender. They really are. Is Rodgers that guy? I don't know. You know he can play in the cold weather. Can he play in New York? Not everyone can. It's tough. Certain areas of the country are tough sports towns, and you have to be a mentally tough player to play there. Like down here in Carolina, you don't need to be mentally tough to play down here. But areas like Boston, New York, absolutely Chicago, you have to be tough in those towns because they ask the tough question. Dallas as well, right? You have to be tough. New York and Boston particularly, they're like really, really tough on their players.
And rightfully so.
And New York's the toughest of all, without a doubt.
Unless you're playing for the Islanders, and everybody should question why you're being so hard and why you're being so critical of the team. Then you don't need to be facing the tough.
It's because no one cares about the Islanders. Only the fans. No one cares about them.
Mal O'Brien said, Drew, it's a little bit disappointing after the build-up that Sun X doesn't have his face showing. Oh, Grumpy.
I'm sorry.
That means you should get on the stick and get what you need to get done.
I do have to. Oh, Stephen Porter, our friend, he's a Lions fan. Is TJ okay? No sleeveless shirt and a hat?
Yes.
Yeah, what's up with that, TJ?
I know, right? I'm wearing long sleeve
shirt.
That
doesn't fit.
The hat fits, damn it.
It doesn't fit.
It fits. It's tough to get in touch with Stephen Porter these days. So maybe that's what it is.
Whenever I want to talk to him, he's more than willing to pick the phone up.
Yeah, Goon says, Sun X, who does Grumpy favor more, you or TJ? Don't worry, you could say it. You could say it, Sun X.
It's me.
No, it's definitely not.
It's absolutely me. He favors me way more than you.
Is Sun X a superhero or a bank robber?
He has a brother who is a famous racer. So, and I think everyone knows who this. I don't know. Maybe people don't know who this is.
Well, judging by you, Grumpy, you always said that I was a parasite, so I would probably say a bank robber.
There you go, parasite, bank robber. There you go. Certainly not a superhero.
And Sun X, is your hairline receding like TJ's?
Mine is way better than TJ's. Way better.
Way better.
It's not even close.
Sun X, one day the camera's going to come on, my friend. So you better make sure.
Yours is worse than LeBron's, okay?
Sun X,
LeBron looks like he has a full head of hair.
Implants. You're not going to have enough time to get hair implants there, Sun X. So you better be careful what you're saying now.
I don't need them. I got a mane compared to you.
Goon says, does anybody really shine their shoes anymore?
No. It's a shame.
I can't.
It's a lost art. It's a lost
unless
art.
you go to a shoe shine. That's probably about it.
Shine their shoe. No, I could still spit shine a shoe right now if I had to. Absolutely.
With that green electrical tape?
No. Those were called sneakers. Those were called sneakers back in the day. They're not called shoes.
Goon says,
shoes were damn dress shoes. TJ and Grump, are you going away on vacation somewhere? Hence the upcoming break.
Yes. We're going away on vacation. We will be gone from this Sunday. So
Sunday early in the morning and coming back the following Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
So no TJ and the Grumpy Old Man show this Sunday or this upcoming Thursday.
Right. But we'll probably do something for Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, we could do a live during the game.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll have what you need for Sun X by then. D-cut, Grumpy.
TJ and Grump treating Sun X like Gil.
For real, is what it says.
Oh, for real. Okay.
And he says, is Sun X shy or are TJ and Grumpy treating him like Gil? Oh my gosh. We liked Gil. We liked Gil a lot. He was quiet, but we liked Gil.
Yeah, Nick's Gil was super, super quiet, but Sun X has been pretty quiet too.
I'm letting y'all take the reins.
Okay. There we go.
I think people want to see you attack TJ. I think that's fun.
No.
Drew says, I
Just
love
wait.
I love Derek Carr. He wouldn't get that hot because he's always seems to be wet. I was referring to him crying all the time.
Talking about him not being hot there in Vegas because he's too busy crying. Amen.
Okay.
Amen. And TJ, any chance you gave Son X the free Raycon earbuds that you stole from Grump?
Absolutely not.
Oh man.
Anything that we get, TJ gets. TJ just takes it.
Fuck. I don't get anything.
He's a thief.
Yeah, there it is. Let's talk a little bit about what we saw in the NFC Championship game.
Well, okay.
What?
Can I just, okay, that's fine. Go ahead. Let's talk about the NFC Championship game.
Let's talk about that. 49ers got throttled by the
What did I say?
Philadelphia
How
Eagles.
many points did I say they were going to win by? Do you remember?
Couldn't tell you.
I said double digits. Then by the end, I said 21.
Okay.
How much they won by?
Here's the thing worth mentioning, though.
Oh, doesn't matter.
No quarterback.
Brock Purdy got injured, and he's going to require surgery. It's going to keep him out 4 to 6 months. Then the backup to Brock Purdy also got injured. So from the beginning of the year, they lost the starting quarterback, Trey Lance, the second string quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. Their third string quarterback, Brock Purdy, was a guy who came in that game as a starter. He got hurt. Their fourth string quarterback got hurt. And their fifth string quarterback was the guy trying to mount a comeback against the Philadelphia Eagles.
No,
their fifth string quarterback, Grump.
There was no fifth string quarterback.
Christian McCaffrey was the fifth string quarterback.
It was Lance, Garoppolo, Purdy, and Josh Johnson. It was 4, not 5.
Let's
1, 2, 3, 4, not 5, 4.
This changed the. Does this?
And here's the thing.
Right?
Look at all of them. Look at all of them. I don't know what here's the thing. Maybe, just maybe, Kyle Shanahan should adjust his blocking scheme so all these guys aren't getting crushed in the pocket all the time. I'm blaming that on the head coach, Kyle Shanahan. Why? Because Trey Lance, broken foot. What was it? What was his injury? Knee? Was it a knee?
I think his leg.
Yeah, his leg. I think.
Okay, broken leg. Garoppolo's always hurt. Broke his foot. Purdy, pressured up the middle. Tries to throw a ball. Tears something in his elbow. Josh Johnson falls, bumps his
Concussion.
head. He's got Tua syndrome. You want to know a guy? You want a guy who's never hurt? The People's Champion, the former People's Champion.
Oh my God! Okay, so is this what it's about? You're just bitching. You're just bitching. You're upset that they didn't bring Tom Brady in.
The best ability is availability, and every single year. And I'm not just saying I'm blaming Shanahan because every single year all his quarterbacks get hurt. Every year, you need to adjust your blocking schemes. How about chipping guys on the way out? You can't let your quarterbacks take shots like that. That's why they're always hurt. Every single year, all your quarterbacks are out. I'm blaming the head coach.
Okay. Now, what happens with Lance with that team?
They're not getting rid of him yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's
going
to.
Do you think they split time at the beginning, or do you think they just go Purdy all the way?
I think they'll go Purdy. I think Lance is a flop. Talk about mismanaging an asset. All that draft stock they traded from a kid who's in, Division I AA.
North Dakota State.
North Dakota frickin' State. And he had not played for like 13 months before he was drafted.
Yeah, he took a whole season off. Yeah.
And you're just, I'm sorry. It's just you didn't manage the asset correctly. He said, Shanahan initially said he wanted to trade all that draft capital to get Mac Jones. That was the toss-up, was Mac Jones or Trey Lance. And they took the guy who was more athletic. I don't know. I guess I would have taken Mac Jones at this juncture, right? Wouldn't you?
I don't know.
Over Trey Lance? Can't even stay on the field.
I don't know. You're not.
He was throwing it. He was throwing in my backyard. He was making plays in my backyard. That's the level of competition he was playing.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Trey Lance, tough to really – I think it's going to be a learning curve for him to begin with. No idea what he's going to look like and pan out to be. But the 49ers need to do one or two things. determine immediately who's going to be the starting QB. You should know. You saw 7 or 8 games with Brock Purdy. You saw all of camp. You saw preseason games with Trey Lance. Who's going to be your quarterback? Trade the other one this offseason. The longer you hold on to them both, the less and less value both, or the less and less value the one you're going to trade is going to have. That's that simple.
Brock Purdy is not the answer. He's just not that good. This is an offense where even a serviceable quarterback got to the NFC Championship game. If you have anybody a little bit better than that, they're Super Bowl champions. Their rest of their team is so good, they don't have a quarterback. They don't. If they had Brady next year or Aaron Rodgers next year, they win a Super Bowl. If they would have had them this year, that team wins a Super Bowl. They don't. They got Brock Purdy, Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, Josh Johnson.
They might have even won with Brock Purdy at quarterback.
They were not winning with Brock Purdy.
Hurt.
They were never beating Philadelphia.
Oh.
Never. Never freaking ever. They were never beating Philadelphia. Philadelphia is way too good for them. I told you it was going to be a double-digit victory. What was it? Double-digit victory.
Brock Purdy got injured. That's right. Thank you, Son X. Brock Purdy.
Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when they look at the victory, it's going to be double digits. Who called
Well,
that?
here's the thing. What do you say is the most important position in football?
Quarterback. Better keep your guy healthy.
Thank you very much. And who do they not have? The quarterback.
Grumpy. So it was pretty much an ass whooping from start to finish there. Once Brock Purdy was out, I think on like the second or the third drive, that game was as good as over too. Now there was a lot more, I guess, drama that occurred in the evening game. The Cincinnati Bengals against the Kansas City Chiefs. The one where the Chiefs wound up hitting a last-second field goal in order to go ahead and win the game. And a questionable call, a late hit call, helped put them and move them into field goal position. But trust me, it wasn't a game that was just built on one play. The Chiefs find a way to win in Arrowhead Stadium above Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, for me, that was a game where Cincinnati should have and could have won, and their coach made a couple of really bad decisions at key times, and it cost them the game. Period. They had a 3rd and 2, a 2nd and 2, and a 3rd and 2, and the passes for a bomb down to T. Higgins that gets intercepted. He could have ran for the first down there. I think Burrow made a mistake. Then their last series, they get the ball at their 5. They got, a minute and a half left, 2 timeouts. Kansas City's got a couple of timeouts. And Cincinnati's just kind of scraping, just making it on 3rd down, 3rd and 16. They convert. 3rd and 11, they convert. But they were like at the 30-yard line. I'm like, and they're running like a kind of quasi hurry up, but not really. And it's like, I'd start running clock because I'm just looking at the amount of time on the clock and I'm looking where they are on the field. And I'm like, you cannot be giving the ball back to Kansas City here. What do? They do exactly what I suggest they don't do. They have to punt the ball with 42 seconds left. What's the one thing that the special teams coach should have said to the kicker? One thing you don't want to do: kick the ball down the middle of the field, angle them to the sidelines, use the out of bounds line as another tackler. They didn't. They get a 30-yard return on a punt. Kansas City couldn't move the ball at all at the end. They got bailed out. Joe Tsai, who I thought had a really good game, hits Mahomes late.
Well,
I mean, they're not in field goal range.
We'll watch that because there's another angle that says bullshit on that as well. Because and I'll let you watch it. I want to hear Son X's opinion on this. But this was set the scene. 3rd and 4, 17 seconds remaining in the game. Tie game at this point.
But you still got a chance to clock it.
Take your time and take the shot down. Here's Mahomes rolling out on 3rd and 4. He's going to go for the, yes, he's got the marker. He's got the out of bounds to stop it. And Osai was hurt as he hit the bench. And a flag's coming in to put him 15 yards. But you still.
I'm sorry. I want to hear Son X's opinion on this one, Grumpy.
2 holding penalties on that play are not called. Very obvious. And he only barely puts a hand on him. Earlier on in the game, Joe Mixon was hit well out of bounds as well. And there's no late hit penalty that's thrown, but yet they call it here in the most important portion of the game. So.
And Burrow also took a shot on the previous drive. After that ball was gone, Frank Clark takes 2 steps and shoves him down. That should have been 15.
No call.
So watch again. His foot. He is maybe half the foot's out of bounds. It wasn't as blatant as it seemed. He's making contact with him before that second foot came out of bounds. And the thing I don't like is Patrick Mahomes. Wow, he throws up. Wow, and he just feet claps. Wow. I hope that son of a bitch gets fucking tattooed. This type of shit right here, embellishment nonsense, that doesn't belong in the game of football. Doesn't, in my opinion.
Belongs in soccer.
I was about to say, embellishment belongs in certain sports. It makes sense.
Okay. Here's the thing. Joe Osai did not execute that play properly. It cost him. That's just a dumb penalty to take. You have to know when you're allowed along those sidelines, you're not allowed to hit guys when they're out of bounds. Just he was out of bounds.
Sometimes it's called, sometimes it's not. Depends on who has the football and depends on who goes wow and flops like a bitch.
So
that's
what
happens,
it looks like. Right? What does it look like, right? What does it look like? It looks like
the star quarterback goes down. No,
the referees, to me, the problem is the referees let so much go during the game. So much.
Like the 2 holding penalties that were on the same play.
Right. 2 blocking the backs on the punt. I mean, all that stuff. But I mean, here's the thing.
Right here.
He definitely took a flop.
It's the biggest fucking flop I've ever seen. Oh, here's it. Not the
biggest flop. Smarter. You got to be smarter. You got to be smarter there, though. You just have to be smarter. All right, he's already out of bounds.
Half the foot comes out.
How do you get touched up top and your legs shoot out from underneath you?
He didn't need to hit him.
Hold on, look at this. He puts a shoulder on the back of this guy's shoulder. And what happens?
I don't think he's hitting him. He's falling and he's trying to keep himself balanced.
He's got
That's what it looks like.
A freaking arm on his shoulder. Wow! And his leg hits the other guy's leg. Wow! And he throws his arms out. I'm sorry. A guy like that.
He's looking for a
gotta be smarter. Got to be smarter.
You get everything you have coming for it. Yeah, it's just a fucking flop.
And here's the thing: his teammates. I was surprised. One of his teammates, like, yeah, you can't. You got to be smarter than that. He's right. You just know where you are on the field. It just. I'm sorry. It was a dumb. Here's the thing, and that kid played a great game. He played a great game. He was really dynamic towards the end. And it's like, but dude, he's out. He's out. He's out of bounds. Can't hit him. They didn't execute.
The other thing is, why were the Bengals not sending more blitzes on Mahomes? He couldn't roll out and move at all the entire game. The one time he did, he comes up limping.
Yes, it's
press him.
I thought the game plan was just hideously constructed by Zach Taylor and that Cincinnati Bengals team. Awful. I thought that Cincinnati was a better team from start to finish. Not only were they out-coached, it looks like, the officials did everything, I think, in their ability to move the Chiefs along. Absolutely. Seriously, how many 3rd and 9 replays was this Chiefs going to be awarded? Was it like 2 or 3 different 3rd and 9s? They said, "Oh, sorry, we didn't have the clock set up, the play clock set up exactly. I know we didn't blow the whistle as the play was going on and let the entire play transpire, and then blew the play dead and said we're going to give them another down." I've never seen anything so poorly officiated in my life.
The NFL has an officiating problem. Well, here's the reason why. Because they micromanage and micro-view everything to the last quarter inch. That guys have always made mistakes. But you know what? You don't show it in high def, 15 different angles. These guys get a snapshot take on it. The officiating was bad in this game. Really bad. But the biggest problem, like here, you're seeing it, that he's out of bounds.
He's out of bounds, and he gets hit.
Right here resulted in the Cincinnati Bengals coming with a field goal. This play Joe Mixon, as he's going out on the 2-yard line, is hit with his entire body outside of the line of scrimmage. There was no late hit thrown on this one. Keep playing, guys. Keep playing. It's only when certain players go, wow, and they flop, are we giving them late hit penalties. I'm like, that's the issue. People are like, oh, well, yeah, this should have been a call too. No, it's not a call
But
ever. They only give calls to certain players. They love Patrick Mahomes. They give him every call they can.
Well, he's the face of the NFL now, right?
Correct.
He's
That's
the
just
golden
the way
boy.
it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it used to be Brady, used to be other players, but this is the new guy.
I feel like officials are just accessories to the game. That's it. They're useless.
Here's the thing: when you know the officials' names, it's been a bad game for the.
I don't know how
officials.
this is not a late hit, but hey,
Yeah, it absolutely should have been.
a late hit right there gives you a first. It gives you 1st and 10 from the 1-yard line.
First and goal.
I was about to say, you'd like to say from 1st and goal from the 1-yard line, you'd be able to find a way to score a touchdown. This field goal right here changes how the outcome is, right? Because, hey, if you've had a touchdown there, well, hell, the Chiefs have to score a touchdown, not looking for a field goal at that point.
But here's the thing. The bottom line, the coaching staff didn't have the punter execute where to kick the ball. You never give up a 30. They gave up a 30-yard punt return in the last minute of the game. You can't do that. Kick it to the sidelines.
They were 2 blocking the backs. But
okay, but here's the thing. If you kick it to the sidelines, you kick the ball out of bounds, it doesn't matter. They couldn't move the ball. They would have moved on. Then you don't hit that guy on the sidelines. You don't hit Mahomes on the sidelines. Okay, it's a close play. Bottom line, I knew that flag was going to get thrown. I'm like, oh, geez. I said, it's coming. And then wham, it came in late and they threw it.
If the officials do their job at all that game,
don't hit the guy out of bounds. Don't do it.
Well,
don't
that's where we draw the line. That's where we draw the line. And the reason we draw it is because Mahomes, wow, and throws his arms out.
Don't hit the guy out of bounds.
Here's the thing. Guys like that who flop like that in a sport, in a man's sport like that, I got no problem. They get what they have coming to them.
Listen to me.
None.
You know the rules. You don't even want to take a chance in a game like that. Pull up. He was out of bounds anyway.
We're not calling late hits, but we call them on some occasions.
Well,
but
hey, it seems like Kansas City gets to take those chances, whereas the Bengals don't.
Yeah, how am I supposed to know as a player if you're letting that shit go? It's like in any NHL, Grumpy. If you're getting away with NHL playoff hockey, you're getting away with cross-checking, holding, clutching, grabbing all fucking game, and then one guy throws a little bit of a cross-check, and it's Sidney Crosby goes, oh, and they say,
bottom line, it's a penalty. Bottom line,
double minor.
He deserved to get it thrown. He didn't execute the last play of the game, and it cost him a shot in the Super Bowl. Period. That's what happened. Don't hit the guy when he's out of bounds. I don't care. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you're too dumb to realize it. And here's the thing. His teammates knew it. They went at him.
It was a late hit, but they let a lot of the same shit
I don't care. So you don't put the referee in position to throw that flag.
Oh.
Don't execute. It's called keeping your head about you when all others are losing theirs. He didn't. It cost him a shot at the Super Bowl. Period.
Well, I do think that Burrow needs to work a little bit more about how the flopping because, he kind of takes a little bit of a
tumble. He tried. Look, his arms are out.
Absolutely. He's gone. That's a penalty.
He should have gone like this. Throw his arms and fallen right on his head, pretending like he was Tua Tagovailoa. It would have been game misconduct. It's not. Here's the thing. It's not much of a hit, but it's the same level of such a vicious play that we saw on the sidelines. Both of them are just
takes 2 steps and he hits him. That's a penalty. And they didn't call it.
Charmin weak. Both of those were Charmin weak.
It doesn't matter. You cannot put the referee in a position. Well, he didn't call it earlier. He's not going to call this one. You can't do that. Be smarter. You got to be smarter.
Yeah. Okay.
And the Asai kid was great in that game. Really, really good. And he didn't execute the last play, and it cost him. That's why you got to play for a full 60 minutes. That's why New England was so good for all those years when Belichick and Brady, those guys were on task from the beginning to the end of the games. That's why they won so many.
Okay.
Cincinnati is a better team right now than Kansas City, but they didn't execute a couple of plays down the stretch, and it cost them. Got to execute. Buffalo didn't execute certain plays. That's why they're out.
Goon there, Grumpy.
If the Islanders come out red hot in the second half, will Grumpy stand up and salute? No. I will not.
D-Cut saying, what's your thoughts on Sean Payton in Denver? Does he re-erect Russell Wilson? Good question there, D-Cut, because
resurrect, not re-erect. Again, you're back to the re-erect thing.
Does he re-erect?
It's resurrect. It's not re-erect.
Does he resurrect Russell Wilson? Good question there, D-Cut.
Nick, Son X, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think Russell Wilson's finished as a quarterback. I don't see it as happening. No, I just don't think Russell Wilson's anywhere near as good as he used to be back when he was prime Seattle.
I think he might be able to squeeze out a little bit of lemon juice, if you know what I mean. I thought that Russell was finished. I saw how competitive he had that Saints team. Again, the Saints had really good pieces, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, you name it, really good defense. But, I saw what he was able to do with Drew Brees, who couldn't throw the ball more than 15 yards downfield.
I think he's a good coach. I think he's getting overpaid. Giving up a first and a second round draft pick for him was an awful lot.
Shit, they gave up 4 first-round picks for Russell Wilson, right?
I don't.
Russell Wilson, beginning of the year, I think was predicted to be MVP as well.
Yeah,
he was projected to be MVP.
Listen here, X. I told TJ on game 1, I'm like, he can't throw the ball anymore, unless there's an injury. He can't throw the ball. His throwing motion had changed, and maybe he had an injury all year. But then you find out things that teammates don't really like him. In Seattle, at the end, you had to make appointments with his assistant to have a meet with him. This is a teammate. This is teammates saying if they want to talk to Russell Wilson, they had to meet with his assistant to set up.
He had to do his high knees on the plane. That's why. So
he had to do all his warm-ups. That trade, by the way, for Russell Wilson, they sent Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 2022 5th-round pick and a 4th-round pick.
What a bad trade. To me, that's one of the worst trades in NFL history.
It's up there. It's up there. I mean, if Sean Payton can't turn around, absolutely it's up there.
Now, here's the big question. Who had a worse arm at their ending their career with Denver? Peyton Manning or Russell Wilson?
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning couldn't throw the ball at all at the end. Not at all.
It still won a Super Bowl, though.
They had some defense, and they played the Panthers with Captain Choke, Cam Newton, as their quarterback.
Captain Choke. Oh,
he was living up to be a cat, just a scaredy cat. Didn't want to go in for that fumble.
That's what he'll always be remembered for, not going for that fumble.
Oh. Yep. The Wicked 50 Cal said, very random, I know, but I may actually have to watch the New York Liberty. I have apparently made a super team, or I'm sorry, they have apparently made a super team. Way better than my Knicks can ever do.
It's girls basketball.
Hey, if you enjoy it, have fun. Maybe the tickets are cheap. Maybe the atmosphere is fun.
The tickets will be available. Yep.
Okay.
I don't have any professional sports team like that near me, Grumpy. I don't have maybe I do actually, and I just am not aware. I don't know.
Okay, it's girls basketball. You don't have to watch it. Don't subject yourself to that punishment. You probably watch one game and you go, man, the Knicks suck, but holy crap. These girls really suck.
Stephen Porter says, what is Son's ex thought on soccer player Kareem Benzema?
Did just win the Ballon d'Or, so he's got that going for him. But I mean, he since that run that he had last year, I feel like he's fallen off a good bit this year. He's nowhere near as good as he was last year. But all around, he was a Madrid legend and icon for sure.
A legend. He's 35 now. He got hurt again today. He's been out, injuries. I mean, like I said, you get to be a certain age, and it's just tough. It's just tough when you get older. That's what made Brady so impressive. Yes, I'm still talking about him. That's what made him so impressive at 45. This guy's 35, and of course, quarterback's a little bit different. You're getting hit, but when you're playing soccer, you're running all the time.
Yeah, soccer is way different sport than football.
And those muscle injuries that you get. And here's the thing, once you start getting them, it's not like you're not going to get them. You're going to keep on getting them.
And Gareth Bale.
Andriel said, "Nice job, TJ. Already said son X's name. It's gonna trust me. Grumpy has two a few times. It's gonna take
multiple times. It's already come out. So
Alexander says, "Hey gents, hey guys, how are you? Doing well, Alexander. Hopefully,
X. Let me just tell you something. X. Alexander is a huge Miami Dolphins fan.
Wow. Okay.
You know something? I don't really I haven't really disliked the Dolphins, but I think if they would have said to the people's champion, "Hey, come back to play here. This one last year, we're not gonna go with Captain Concussion as our starting quarterback."
Noodles.
Noodles. That's right. I think he would have come and actually played for the Dolphins, perhaps. And then the Dolphins would have been serious Super Bowl contenders. They're not under Noodles. I just find it funny that all of a sudden Noodles goes to some witch doctor and he's out of concussion protocol right away.
Hold on. What happened?
Tua Tagovailoa yesterday afternoon, or was it Monday or Tuesday, came out and he is no longer in concussion protocol. That's what he said.
Okay.
He went to some witch doctor.
Did he actually go to witch doctor? Or just fucking around?
I don't know if he went to see him.
Okay.
He went to some doctor and cleared him.
Okay. Drew says here,
Arizona Cardinals are a joke. How do they not get Sean Payton? Payton even said he'd love to work with Kyler Murray. What happened? They weren't going to give up the value that New Orleans wanted.
I think they see as well that Kyler Murray's not the answer. I know he said that.
Yeah, Arizona's looking to get rid of Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray's not the answer.
I've seen.
They still don't even have a general manager yet.
Well, it's tough to get the guy to buy on board when that's the case. D-cut there, Grumpy.
Fire TJ, hire D-cut.
Oh, there it is. As always.
I'm just gonna say D-cut's hat looks better on him than yours looks on you.
That's fine. That's okay.
And those glasses.
Okay. So I've been seeing this around a few places. Alexander sent this to us, but I'll pull it up. Shay, Grumpy.
Tuning in late, but TJ's wearing a full shirt today. Miracle, huh?
It is. So this is what I've been seeing a lot of. Alexander post. He says, "Congratulations, Sounders, trading away Wayne Gretzky." Atu Ratu, stop it. So that's what people are trying to say. Like, oh, yeah, he's Wayne Gretzky. No. Nobody's saying Atu Ratu's Wayne Gretzky. We are saying that he is a very solid number 2 potential center in the NHL. That's not Wayne Gretzky.
The first round draft pick was it for me. Just can't do it.
It was both awful. Terrible.
But the first round for a team that has no young talent, trading away first round draft picks is it's inexcusable.
Alexander, Grumpy.
Does Senex look like TJ or you, Grump? I think he looks more like me.
Yes, I would agree with that.
TJ looks like a hammerhead.
Okay. Drew L, Grumpy.
Brady might be gone, but you know who won't be gone? Braid.
Braid's going back, Grumpy. Braid is exiting retirement. D-cut.
Son X, has TJ always been a poor reader?
Yes, absolutely he has.
Uh-huh. Sure. RJ Barrett going full clutch mode again.
Oh, God, he's not clutch.
And a very wise man once told me, nothing good happens past 10 p.m. at night, especially in this country.
That's any country.
Just ask Joe Mixon. Yeah, he knows.
I use the midnight rule, but I hear your point. Says. Alexander says, Joe Mixon is a piece of shit, should be in jail for the rest of his life. That coward.
Yeah.
Seems like NFL players always get off with doing stuff like that.
They get a lot of liberty. They get a lot of
leeway.
Kareem Hunt. I mean, he Spartan kicked that chick in the hallway. And then who else? Alvin Kamara who beat up the guy at the Pro Bowl after the Pro Bowl last year.
Yeah.
They put him in the ICU. Literally beat the hell out of him and put him in the ICU. You see the picture of the guy. He looks like somebody who just went 18 rounds or whatever with Floyd Mayweather, all busted up really bad.
Floyd Mayweather.
I was going to say Floyd Mayweather's right. What?
How about Mike Tyson?
Well, Mike Tyson. There we go.
Goon says, let's take a vote. Who's more of a dum-dum, Mixon or Osai?
Mixon.
No, Osai is dumb.
What?
Yeah.
Mixon's career might be over. Osai can still play.
Asai is dumb. Mixon is criminal. That's the difference. That's not dumb. That's kind of criminal. That's stupid. Different level.
I don't know.
I'll take Asai over Mixon in hey, somebody I want to be friends with. It ain't Joe Mixon. Afraid he'd pull a gun on me if I told a joke.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I'll chat for that, Grumpy. Alexander says, "Yeah, but Grump, what do you expect? What do you expect the NFL to do at the time he wasn't drafted yet?"
Didn't they do something to Ezekiel Elliott?
Yes, for something he did in college.
They fined him years later for. I mean, I'm like, what?
He had to sit out games too. Remember, because
that's just ridiculous.
They've done it before. That's what I said. They've done it before with other players.
They're selective with what they do. There is no rhyme or reason. The NFL blows whatever way the current environment exists in. If no one says anything about anything, they just ignore all of it. If someone has an uproar over something or a hair across their ass for this type of infraction or this type of infraction, all of a sudden they're 1,000% behind it. The NFL is disgusting. They're disgusting.
Drew L says, "Let me guess. Joe Mixon will get a 4-game suspension, but they'll suspend Calvin Ridley for another full season for placing a bet on his own team." Yeah, that's how they do it.
Interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Gugun says, "Hey, good guy Roger Goodell. Instead of just strictly end racism messages, how about respect women? It's not going to do anything. None of those. They just try to pretend like, oh yeah, we're making such a valiant stand trying to help this issue and that issue. The amount of domestic violence that occurs from NFL players it's ridiculous compared to other professional sports.
End racism is the more popular cause, so they're behind that. Respect women, not so much.
They did that for a bit. Remember, they used to have that for a few months, I feel like.
Yeah, but then the wind blew another direction, so they went in that way. Like I said, they don't stand for anything. They don't stand for anything. The NFL stands for nothing.
Green.
The green. That's it. That is it.
Yep.
Just the green.
Shay said, "To be clear, I couldn't give a flying F about football, but I saw that meme and I thought it was funny."
We love you, Shay.
Oh, Alexander says his agent expects the charges to be dropped.
Oh, man. Well,
I wonder if there might be some
money.
Her
off. He paid her off. Absolutely.
Maybe there's some money going the other direction. Who knows?
100%.
Nick D, thank you for that clip there. Yeah, Paul Bissonnette. Mario says, "And what would the Super Bowl MVP trophy look like? A deflated football or an old VHS tape?" says Mario.
No, same trophy that they have now. Just rename it. And they should. Honestly, they should do that. They absolutely should.
Goon Grumpy. Even
in the games he lost in the Super Bowl, he had them up in the fourth quarter. Every single one. And the defense let him down. Every single game. Gunga says, I propose each game that results in the Jets season going down the shitter be given the Brady Award.
The Brady Award. Oh,
I know Jets fans are happy that Brady's gone. I know they're ecstatic.
The whole league is happy he's gone.
It's true.
Andrew L.
Did you see what Mike Francesa said on First Take about Brady? I'm sure Grump will love it. I did see it. Mike Francesa is a jackass. He's a moron. He said Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback. He's not the greatest regular season quarterback, which was Peyton Manning, and he's not the greatest Super Bowl quarterback, who was Joe Montana. He's wrong on so many levels that I can't even tell you. The game is played differently, first of all. Joe Montana only went to 4 Super Bowls. How many times did he get knocked out? How many times did the 49ers lose in the championship game when Joe Montana played like shit? All those games were blowouts. The 49ers were a really, really good team back in the day. Peyton Manning threw in a dome. Yeah, great stats. Really good. Dan Marino, same thing. Great stats. But in a big game, you ever playing them? Who do you want to play in the big game? It's Brady. It's Brady. It's always Brady.
Tom Brady made himself great. He wasn't great. He wasn't great in college. He lost his job, which is what fueled him his whole life. He's the most competitive person anybody's ever met. And he worked harder than anybody ever to be this good. He made himself this good. He didn't start out that way. He was drafted late. He had a terrible body. It took him time to do it. Now, I'm going to throw a little, oil on the ceremony.
Okay.
He's not the best regular season quarterback I've ever seen. Peyton Manning was. He's not the best Super Bowl quarterback who ever lived. Joe Montana is. What he is, though, is the guy who played the longest, and he won the most games. He won the most Super Bowls. So he will be remembered because nobody's going to play 23 years, and nobody's probably ever going to have a chance to win that many Super Bowls. It's almost impossible to do. He was in the right place with the right coach, and he was that competitive. But let me say this. In the Super Bowl, just take the Super Bowl performances. Nobody ever has competed on the level Joe Montana competed on. Not even close.
This guy should spit his fucking veneers out of his mouth and just
I
yell.
I love Stephen A. Smith can't even comprehend what he's saying. Like, look at his face. He's just like, what the hell is he even talking about?
He's been to 10 Super Bowls and won 7 Super Bowls, but nobody was anywhere near as good as Joe Montana in Super Bowl.
Let me tell you something. The Giants twice knocked Joe. You hit Joe Montana, he was hurt. He was another one of those pussy quarterbacks who you tap, he's done.
Kind of like Pat Mahomes.
No, Mahomes is tougher.
No, Mahomes' legs are just done when you tap him.
But Mahomes is tougher than Montana. You tap Montana out. Out. Jim Burton knocked him out in the first quarter. Oh, I can't get up. Leonard Marshall hits him. Oh, I can't move. Tom Brady, I'm telling you, the shots he took in that Denver game that they lost 20-18, which was Peyton's last championship year, he was hit 19 times during the game. He took I think it was more than that. He took a hell of a beating, and he kept on playing. Brady always played. Montana, not always. Always dinged up all the time. He was a pussy, and he played. That was when the West Coast offense started. Montana would not be successful today. He just would not.
I wonder if Montana came back from 28-3 once. Maybe
no, never did.
Super Bowl career. Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Look at the Super Bowl scores: 55-7. I think the first one was close. They got out to a big lead early on Cincinnati and just held on at the end. A nice defensive stand. Cincinnati loses. I think it was 21-17. Then they beat Cincinnati. A ball that should have been intercepted in the end zone just before the touchdown guy just dropped it right in his hands.
The catch.
Tim Crumry broke his leg early in that game for Cincinnati. That hurt Cincinnati as well. I mean, here's the thing. Montana was a good quarterback, but I never thought he deserved the accolades he got. No one even talks about Joe Montana anymore, do they? Anyone? No.
No, it's Brady Mahomes.
That ended, well, it's Mahomes. Even Mahomes knows. Mahomes, the flavor of the week. He's won 1 championship. Stop. Here's the thing. What you see is with, now I forgot my take. Okay. Don't remember. Sorry.
You Son X, you got to watch out because when Grumpy he gets angry if you cut him off.
I'm talking, just shut your mouth till I'm done. Know your role. Know your role and shut your mouth.
Son X, grumpy old man. He's a little older now these days, so if you ever interrupt him, he kind of forgets what he's going to say.
And in the regular season, I watch every game in the regular season. The best down-to-down, Sunday-to-Sunday quarterback I've ever seen regular season was Peyton Manning.
Pause it.
You think maybe it has something to do with the fact that he played in a dome? I don't know. 8 of the 16 games at least a year. Did that maybe have a little bit of an impact on it?
And here's the thing. Couldn't beat New England. Brady's got a winning record over him.
Yeah.
In the big games.
Say this to you, Mike Francis.
I'm sorry.
At the end of the day, Brady, no one ever says Manning's better than Brady. Never. And here's the thing. When you play outside up in New England in the winter, you have to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to run the ball. You got to play defense. There's a reason why those Indianapolis Colts teams didn't win anything. The 2 years he went to the Super Bowl, right? He played against a miserable Chicago Bears team with Rex Grossman as quarterback. And he shit the bed, but they were just so much better that, the Bears lost that one and Indianapolis won. The other one with Denver, sorry. He was a sidecar. He was Josh Bailey playing the quarterback position for the Denver Broncos. That's what he was. Against New Orleans, he spit the bit, throws a pick 6 that ends that game. I've said it 100 times in the show. In a big game, am I taking Eli or Peyton? It's Eli every single time. Peyton Manning is like Barry Trotz. Tom Brady was like, when everything went bad or is going bad, he's able to do things to will his team to victory. Peyton was never able to do that in the big moment. Yeah, he put up big regular season stats. He doesn't lead the league in anything in the history of the sport, though. Brady leads the league in everything. Everything.
All right.
So let me tell you something right now. Initially, when you said that, I was going to say, what blasphemous rhetoric is coming out of this man's mouth? But as I think about it, I'm like this. He's right.
Hey, he's 100%.
He wasn't the greatest regular season quarterback, and he wasn't the greatest
Peyton
Super Bowl
Manning
quarterback. So here's my question
Yes.
to you. My question to you is this. Do you have any issue with Tom Brady being recognized as the greatest ever based on what you just said about the regular season and Super Bowl performance?
No, because longevity matters, and that means records. And winning all those Super Bowls matters because that's how we keep score. But if you ask me, you have one game to win. I'm picking Joe Montana. Joe Montana's Super Bowl quarterback rating was 127.8. Brady's was in.
You want to talk about this, Grumpy? He's compared. Look how the game was different. How big was the average offensive lineman in 1980? The game's completely different. Completely different.
Defensive lineman back then, Howie Long was big at 275.
It's skinny these days.
Those are linebackers. Those are rush
Those
ends.
are outside. Yeah, I was about to say outside linebackers, DN, rush end type of weights on those guys.
The game is just different. The game is.
And Brady
different.
played throughout the change.
That's
when
right.
He's played where it was originally the hard, rough and tumble NFL, where player safety was not something they valued at all, into the way they play the NFL now. It's not like you could say, "Oh, well, the game has changed so much to where it's it's a patty cake out there." He played when things were freaking hard and people hit back in the NFL.
Francis's argument is so dumb. It's like saying, "Well, hey, this was the best quarterback every year from week 1 to 4." No, you have to take everything in totality. Brady was infinitely better than Montana in the regular season and light years better than Manning in the postseason. There is no comparison between those quarterbacks. There just isn't. Anyone with the brain knows. I remember my sister before she died, whenever she said when she hated Brady, hated him. Every time he got the ball, oh, that's it, game's over. And that's the thought process. I remember when I went to, when I was working for the Panthers, we saw Super Bowl 38. And I knew when John Casey kicked the ball out of bounds, I said, that's it. Game's over. They're going to come down. Brady's going to lead them out and win. That's what he did. Look at how many fourth quarter and overtime comeback wins, like over 70, I think 78 all time. Even 4 this year with that shitty team, the Succaneers. Still able to do it. I think they were 3 games down by 10 points or more in the fourth quarter this year, and he led them to victory. I mean, at 45. Joe Montana, he's been on the couch for 10 years when that happened.
TK, Grumpy.
As usual, TJ favoring Facebook comments and ignoring the great YouTube comments.
There it is. Goon, Grumpy.
Sunex, Gumpy boasts that you fancy film. What are your favorite flicks? Are you serious about doing your own film podcast with your proud papa?
Yeah, I definitely want to try and get a film podcast started. You're gonna laugh at my favorite movie of all time because it's definitely not a good movie, but it's Dodgeball. But I do watch a good bit of movies though, movies and TV. Grab life by the balls.
Way to start out. Way to give him a good barometer. What's your favorite movie of all time, Sunex? Dodgeball.
Hey, I'm being honest though. Being honest, that's my favorite movie.
Tell me what. Explain why Dodgeball is your favorite.
The comedy lines are just unmatched.
Okay, I was gonna see now. Here, I'm gonna try to help you out a little bit, Sunex. Whenever we used to take trips to Disney World.
Oh yeah. We always put that movie in. Always, all the time. I think I've probably seen that movie over 25, 30 times, I'd say.
Alexander says, stop it with the Aturatu. You guys act like he's Wayne Gretzky. Like, come on. No, Alexander, I'm acting like we just gave up a guy. Bo Horvat is a number 2 center. That's what Bo Horvat is. We gave up a Bo Horvat 2-3 years from now and a first round pick. What?
Potential Bo Horvat.
He's a guy who's a number 2 center in my book, and he's going to be a number 2 center. We gave up a guy who's a number 2 center and a first-round pick and Anthony Beauvillier for a number 2 center. That's what we did, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't who's having a career year in a contract season. We shouldn't be excited about it. Goon, Grumpy.
Islanders can't get a first-round pick back in exchange for trading Varley or Mayfield? What the heck?
Yeah, they're not going to trade them. Goon. I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. It's like, it's like when you watch the Jets and you're getting ready, like, hey, what can the Jets do? If they don't have a quarterback change, they're not going to have significant forward movement for the franchise. It's going to be the same thing.
If the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, they'll be less like the Jets. They'll still lose probably in the AFC Championship game, but they'll do some damage. They will make the playoffs. If he's their quarterback next year, they make the playoffs.
Goon, Grumpy.
So next, what are your thoughts on the New York Islanders sports franchise?
They need to rebuild. That's my opinion. I think they need to rebuild the team, blow it up, start from scratch.
He's on full rebuild mode. Drew L.
OTJ, I don't know if you care, but the NBA All Star rosters got announced. It's funny. I looked at those rosters today. I'm like, I don't know 3/4 of the players. Most all of them have names I can't pronounce. I looked at them. I looked at them. I say, who are the snubs? And I'm like, okay, I've heard a couple of these names. And I looked, this guy's better than this guy. I'm like, I don't even know who that guy is.
Let me pull these up.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the names. It's like I'm not going to even pull a TJ and say, Isaiah R. I'm not even going to do that. I can't even guess.
Let me ask you, Nicholas, do you know
Son X is his name, by the way.
Yeah, Son X.
Here we go. Yep. He strikes again. There we go.
Son X. Do you know who God damn, what the hell is that guy's name? Do you know who Wee Hoopin is, Son X?
Wee Hoopin?
Yeah, you know who Wee Hoopin is?
Is this a YouTuber or please, that's not an actual basketball player's name, is it?
No.
Yeah, no. He does
okay.
TikTok videos and
he looks like Son X a little bit.
Wee Hoopin. No, if you show me what it looks like, I might know who he is.
Yeah. So Wee Hoopin, he does great content on like Twitch and items like that. He's Grumpy. He's a fan favorite of Grumpy. Or Grumpy loves this guy Wee Hoopin. He is a big
yes, the Ravens fan. Yeah, and he stomps up and down in his attic. Yep, I know that guy. He's got a whole.
Hold on, it's not his attic. It's his mom and dad's attic.
Sorry, his mom and
not
dad's
his attic.
But
that's why they put him up there.
He has a whole wardrobe of jerseys as well up there. I know he has that. He's great. He's funny.
He sucks. He blows.
Grumpy loves this guy Wee Hoopin.
Part 5.
Got a gaming chair.
Oh my God! Shut up there, defense!
The weapons that Cincinnati has, both these teams have a plethora of weapons on the outside, but
Damn, he has to have an insurance policy on that chair.
I like usually when he works himself up so much that he starts sweating. That's what makes me happy.
I just want to know, what do you think he does after he has a little rant after a football game? You think he sits down and plays the little videos all night?
This reminds me of Son X when Son X used to play video games like FIFA. This
Very
is
angry.
Son X.
Very angry.
That's right.
So that's maybe why Wee Hoopin doesn't bother me too much, because it's just Son X. I see Son X wearing a Ravens jersey.
He's a loser. He's a loser, that guy.
Shut up, I'm playing Minecraft.
Frank Grumpy.
Grumpy old man. Iron Maiden is one of the greatest bands. No, they're not. Their musicians and singing is amazing. No, sorry. No. We'll just agree to disagree on that.
And Alexander Grumpy.
This guy is a piece of shit. Like, who is he to say about the Islanders? He's just a freaking moron. Alexander's fired up today.
Isaiah is fired up, Grumpy. Goon Goon.
Good. I agree with you. The Rock Hall list is weak, except for Soundgarden. I didn't know they were in there. Joy Division is good also, but Sheryl Crow. Who's next? Hootie and the Blowfarts?
I like Hootie and the Blowfish. Kayvon Thibodeau, when he saw a tweet from Joe Staley. I don't know what's going on with
Joe
this.
Staley's retired, isn't he?
Yes.
Why is
Let
he
me
even
see.
involved?
I'll have to look at what happened. Oh, God. I'll have to look at what happened with this as I'll play it real quick.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Oh, the McGregor.
You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
Who the fuck is that? Yeah, okay.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Joe Staley. I don't know. Dude, Kayvon Thibodeau does a lot of that where he pretends like he doesn't know who some of the greatest the greatest players of the game are. I'm like,
shouldn't you be a little bit better than he is before you start talking shit?
That's what about this. I like Kayvon Thibodeau, but I'm like, yeah, buddy, you're not that
What did
good.
I say about him? What did I say about him? Remember what I said about him?
Guy.
Jackass. Me guy. He got a long way to go before he even sniffs Lawrence Taylor's jock. Let me just put it to you that way.
Ooh, this is what Joe Staley. Oh, Joe Staley was throwing some fucking shade out here. It says Kayvon Thibodeau said, the way this game looks, you might be better than the 49ers. And that's what Joe Staley said. You're a flash player who gets bodied by average tackles. Don't let the New York media affect you too much.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Uh-oh.
Oh, here you go. Oh, God, look at this. Whatever the hell's going on. This I see a graph. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
There's some metrics.
Joe Staley, for people who don't know, was a really, really good offensive tackle for many years for the 49ers.
He's a guy who might be a Hall of Fame offensive lineman.
Thibodeau, you know what?
How did you pronounce his name, Grumpy? Thibodeau?
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau.
No, he's going to be Thibodeau right now because he's not good enough to be Thibodeau. He's Thibodeau. Little Thibodeau is like a little doggy who comes out. Little Thibodeau, come over here, Thibodeau. He's right. He'll flash and make some big plays, but mostly he's invisible out there. He's just not good enough yet. I'm not saying he cannot become that good, but right now he's not there. Sorry.
Oh, God. We Hoopin made a playoff video. He made a video. He made a music video for you, Grumpy. Oh, we might have to save that for a rainy day.
Thibodeau? This is Thibodeau?
No. We Hoopin.
Grumpy, not that moron. Not that moron.
Your boy.
Oh, good gracious.
One day enough. One a day is too much for me.
Drew L. Grumpy.
TJ, one night you need to invite me on the podcast so me and Son X and I can amplify the TJ attack session. Yeah, Son X is he just along for the ride today.
That's fine. Tony Cheese, Grumpy.
I feel like the warden didn't want anyone making fun of the way Son X looks, so she prohibited him from showing his face.
That's it.
That'd be funny if it was, but the warden, Alexander, Grumpy.
Son X is definitely in the witness protection program. Hide him from all the ladies.
Oh, God. There it is. And Goon Goon.
Is there any way to find out if Zach Wilson still has a fondness for MILFs?
He absolutely does. He's the MILF hunter.
That's right. He's the MILF
hunter.
hunter.
Anthony Bavillier.
Well, not anymore.
They don't even do salary negotiations for him. They just look up the local MILFs and they're like, "Here's what you have in your area." That's how they advertise to him.
Oh, see, there you go. Here's the thing. If he was a free agent at the end of the year, like Bo Horvat, hey, let's see, what do you want from your area? I need a certain number of MILFs. So maybe that's what he looks at. Not necessarily looking for money or championships, but it's like, no, where can I get the best quality MILFs that this country has to offer?
Drew L. Grumpy.
Grumpy, speaking of apparel, maybe it's just an old thing, but I swear I think I've seen you wear that same gray sweater every single damn podcast now. Do you wash that thing? Or is it the warden? The warden. Here's the thing. The warden washes the sweatshirt.
Grumpy doesn't do shit around the house.
That's not true. That's not true.
So it's true.
But yes, if it's sometimes it's a little bit cooler in the house in the evenings, and instead of just wearing a short sleeve shirt or no sleeve shirt like DJ, I just put the little zip up sweatshirt on there. During the summertime, I don't, but right now I do.
D-Cut Grump.
Grump, which of your sons could tough it out here in New York, New Jersey, New York, TJ or Son X? Son X is more street smart, where TJ is
More industrious.
TJ, I'm gonna knock down a building. So I'll
He
probably
would
say
he would lose all of his money within like the first 5 minutes. He'd get hustled immediately.
he
I
get
wouldn't even
hustled.
associate- I wouldn't even associate. Goon Goon says, "Isn't Philly a tough town to play in too?"
Yes, same thing. Philadelphia.
Did you hear what Fred Warner said? Fred Warner's like, "I'm never going to travel back to Philly again." They were saying like they hope our plane blows up and stuff like that. He was. It's like I'm like,
The
dude,
fan base is awful there. They're ruthless.
that's why I hate rooting for Philly, but I'm going to after that charade that occurred in Kansas City. That's for certain. Yeah, Fred Warner. I'm trying to pull it up, but he was all upset with how the fans were being so mean to him. I'll get it pulled up here over time. But moving along, Grumpy Alexander.
Joe Mixon was probably arguing, and she was probably like, "That's why your ass can't win a damn Super Bowl."
And he brought out the Glock and said, I need to pop your ass," or whatever the hell he said exactly. I need to.
Did they show his new girlfriend?
I don't know. Don here, Dov. Now, this guy does a lot. He breaks a lot of the NFL stories. It says the wife of 49ers captain Fred Warner, Sydney. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't Fred. Sydney said she's never going back to the Eagle Stadium again. I didn't feel safe. The amount of FUs and shoving. I hope your plane crashes. I'm all about passion, but never again. That's what Philly is, my friend. Okay, I thought it was Fred Warner, but it was his girlfriend.
Did you see? I think they had oh no, never mind.
Okay. Tony G says this is incredibly anticlimactic. I don't know what that was a reference to, but fair enough. Goon Goon says, Grumpy, why did Son X say you called him a parasite?
Because both of them are like parasites.
They drains on the bank account.
That's right. Drains.
Drew L says, I'll give TJ credit. His hairline is better than Andrew Tate's recent photo of him losing in court again. No, Andrew Tate's not losing in court. Tony Cheese.
Can we have Son X read some comments? I need to know who they made use Hooked on Phonics.
Both.
I'm just gonna let you in on something. It was neither of us.
Alexander.
Hey, I clean my shoes all the time. I have a bunch of Alexander. Jordans are not shoes, they're sneakers. And spend $300 to $400 for my pairs. No, those are sneakers, Alexander. Dress shoes.
Tony Cheese.
Wow. Topical, Drew. Did you have anything else like you'd like to share? I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Like a typical Drew. Nick D.
TJ, come to grips, buddy. Either take Rogaine or shave the melon.
Or just exist.
Agassi. Andre Agassi.
Don't speak for us, TJ. That's exactly what we want. Rip him a new asshole, Son X.
Just shave it, TJ. Just come to the dark side.
It's funny because the warden warned Son X today to not be nasty with TJ. She did warn him. She gave him a list of little rules. That
I wasn't too worried. D-Cut says, agreed, Tony Cheese. I shaved mine at 35. TJ's in denial. And then good night, fellas. I'm going to tune in early.
Turn in only.
I'm going to turn in early, just like Brock Purdy. Oh, there it is. And Drew L. Grumpy.
Only soft-ass quarterbacks getting hurt. Daniel Jones would have never gotten hurt in that game. San Francisco should have asked to rent him for that game. 49ers go to the Super Bowl.
D-Cut, Grump.
Monday, Tuesday, Friday. D-Cut and the Son X show.
There it is. Sunday Sand.
Son X is Speed Racer's brother, Racer X.
Racer X.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
I even wanted to play the song and add Son X instead of Speed Racer. But probably there's copyright infringement on stuff like that. But I don't think anyone cares about the old Speed Racer song.
They do. Alexander says, oh my God, he was pushed. That wasn't roughing the passer.
Out of bounds, can't touch him.
Agree.
Drew L.
TJ having another millennial meltdown over Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. I am. Apex Legend says NFL football sucks. I'd rather listen to a Lou Lamoriello presser. Oh God, that's how you know things are. He doesn't like the NFL. Alexander says everybody's so quick to blame the refs. The Chiefs were better. I don't know. We're the better team.
If Cincinnati had just executed a couple of plays, they would have won the game. They didn't. Long story short.
Tony Chi says you never want the refs to be with the sides a game, especially in the playoffs.
It's a really bad look.
Joe Mixon got a taste of his own medicine on that one now when he got hit late out of bounds.
Woo, good one, Andrew.
That's good. Alexander said they're at the 1 yard line. That wouldn't have not benefited them at all. Yeah, when you get a fresh set of downs.
Not true because it's first and goal then from the 1.
And look, Sean X, I looked at the punt returns numerous times. No block in the back.
Oh, no, Alexander. You missed that one.
Everyone expects the refs to be perfect every game, and they're not. Stop it, TJ. You guys are gaslighting this.
I thought the refereeing was horrible all weekend.
How do you allow 2 or 3 different third and nine to be replayed?
You can't read. Or there was a false start earlier in the game where Cincinnati picks up a first down, and all of a sudden, it was a scramble play. He gets a first down. It's 1st and 10, and then they blow the whistle and say full start. Full start. The play never even goes.
When they get the full start,
they start waving their hands. I mean, what?
The guy who's the head umpire goes, and he just walks into play and gets blowing the whistle, doing his hand movements.
The whole play, he rolled back. He was out passing, got flush from the flush from the pocket. He runs up. He gains 7 yards, get a first down. It's like, and then they say false start. If you want to say illegal motion or something like that, okay, but you can't say false start. The play's not even supposed to happen. I don't understand that. They were terrible. Referees were terrible last week. They were really
even in the
really
Eagles
bad.
game.
Yes,
you had what was it? The punt that hit the wire. They didn't call it.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible. And they looked at it and they still didn't review and they still didn't change it. It's just, dudes, what are you doing? It's terrible. Captain Choke, says Drew, and the most mild-mannered coach of all time.
Most mid coach, so not a good one, not a bad one, but mid,
not a good. Yeah,
middle of the road.
Okay, Ron Rivera, most overrated.
Not a big Ron. I love Ron as a coach. But Frank says Kevin Weeks said the Islanders are not done shopping. Yes, I know. They're going to have 11.3 million in cap space. They're not done shopping, guys.
What are you going to buy? Is Dave Clarkson still available? Maybe they can re-sign him.
My little brownie, Grumpy.
Grump can't say women's basketball sucks. Yes, I can. Some of the most fun games I've been are UConn and Tennessee champion runs.
I do like watching them match up. UConn and Tennessee.
I can't watch it. I can't watch it where they shoot. A good game is when they shoot 40% from the line or shoot 40% from the field. They can't rebound. The ball's got to hit the ground before they can grab it. No. Not if you watch a men's game. Not if you watch a men's game. It's like, no.
I wish they had either a smaller hoop. Women just in general are not as tall as guys. So make the hoop smaller so you get more dunks. You get more.
They can dunk. Yep.
Let's make the hoop 6 foot tall. I mean, come on. No.
D-cut, Grumpy.
Solid rookie debut for Sun X.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
He's coming in like the last minute. Just mop up duty. That's it. Alexander says it's a top 12 pick if they don't make the playoffs and end up the top 12, like 11th or higher, they keep the pick. Yeah. I'd rather they give it up. They just need to move on from this regime. Sorry.
D-cut, Grumpy.
Sun X, Meghan Markle or Megan Fox. He's going to say Meghan Markle. I don't even think he knows who Megan Fox is.
Yeah, I'm not sure who Megan Fox is.
No, you know who Megan Fox is.
Wait, is that? Oh, okay. No, yeah, okay. So that's true. Well, she's dating what? MGK now.
She's nuts. Move. I don't know. They're both nuts. They're both kind of crazy.
I'll go with.
I would say Megan Fox. Megan Fox during the Transformer days.
They drink each other's blood. I'm not down for that with Megan Fox. Meghan Markle blows up royal family. She goes ahead and separates your family. So I don't know.
Maybe you could drink something else off of Megan Fox, not just the blood.
Drew L. Grumpy.
I wonder if Matt Ryan, Kyle Shanahan Mike and Matt LaFleur ever came back down 28-3 before? No. You ever notice their careers all kind of ended after that? Sorry.
Jacob, Grumpy K.
Hey, I know that name. I know Jake Squat about football, but Brady's the greatest athlete ever. What he does at his age is phenomenal. Very good, Jacob.
There it is. Drew L. Grump.
TJ, why do you sound like you want to throw up whenever you try to put an emphasis on a point?
I didn't know I did that, but D-cut. Well, I guess based off the reactions from Son X and Grumpy Old Man, I must do that quite often.
TJ, getting on Mahomes for embellishment, but he's been milking this cold for a month.
Oh, there it is. I've got a cold, just a little bit of a cold.
Yeah, it seems like he got worse. We Hoopin, a.k.a. Cody Hazelton.
That's his name, Grumpy. We Hoopin.
Stupid shit. Andrew L says, how old is Son X? I don't know if it's the mic he's using, but he sounds like 15 years old to me. It's absolutely the mic. I told him.
That's better than what the majority of people say. So,
well, that's not what they say when they see you. Isn't that correct?
That's true. They think I'm 40. So.
Son
Did you guys see the video? Go ahead,
26.
He's 26 years old. Son X is.
I did not see the video about the. I'll put that up. Drew L. Grumpy.
TJ's not a real New York fan. How dare you root for Philly? A disgrace. The Giants of all teams are saying, "Hey, go Philadelphia." What the hell is that about? Lighting New Yorker and city lighting up buildings with Eagles colors. What the dude? What? Stop.
Yeah, I couldn't believe they did that.
The wussification of society. New Yorkers rooting for Philadelphia? Stop. First you're a Rangers fan, now this.
People are sending us a lot of these TikTok videos. Alexander having a millennial meltdown. There it is. Drew says here, TJ, you should showcase Sun C, my Sammy Classic Sonic fan memes. What the hell is a Sonic fan? Oh, is it that crazy?
Have you not seen? Yeah, he's the one who goes run, screams, and he talks about. He's like, Sonic the Hedgehog is the greatest game ever created. I know exactly.
Drew L says, Son X, if there's one thing you'll learn about me, it's that I'm the meme lord on this podcast.
I love it.
Here,
Okay.
now Alexander wants me to share this. Now, you could just tell based off the title. I'm assuming this is not going to be big in your favor, Grumpy. It says, the NFL is rigged and should be immediately removed from gambling lines. Let's listen.
Details from NBC's Peter Alexander.
This video has been blowing up on the web over the last few days, causing NFL fans great anger after the Patriots upset the Jacksonville Jaguars to advance to the Super Bowl for the 10th time. If you look closely, this referee appears to be celebrating the touchdown with the Patriots when he should have been officiating the game. This video has fans crying foul and forced the league to finally acknowledge that the NFL games are sometimes fixed in order to drive revenue and ratings. Watch that again. The same referee congratulating Tom Brady after the upset. Not only did the video cause NFL fans to hemorrhage from their brains, it also caused uproar with the players. Denver Broncos star TJ Ward simply.
I don't know how morons can even put this out as news, honestly, because this is a news organization.
It's not actual news organization.
They're not going to.
Well,
The news
I'm
is
just
they're hemorrhaging from their brains. That's not what the news.
Okay, I thought they were actually news people talking about it.
No, it's not.
They put the original video of Lester, whatever the hell his name is, and then they
Lester Holt.
dubbed
Okay,
over.
sorry, no problem then. Sorry, my bad.
It was just. I think it was just no, Alexander. It was just meant to.
If you look at it, I'm like, okay, he's celebrating with the all right. There's nothing to officiate. They just scored a touchdown, and the other one, yeah, he patted Brady on the back, but he also patted the Jacksonville guy too. So,
Drew, yes, I did see that this little fake skit about Arian Foster, the games being rigged. I saw all that. I don't know. It's just kind of like, okay, it's kind of cute, but moving along. I'll listen to a little bit more of this and
Simply tweeted, rigged, shaking my head. The next morning, Jaguars cornerback Jalen Ramsey confirms everyone's suspicions when he admits, "Coach told us in the middle of the fourth to give the game to New England. We didn't want to, but commissioner said it's best for the league." Ramsey quickly deleted the tweet, but it seems it was already too late. Reports out of New York indicate that Roger Goodell has permanently banned Ramsey from the league in response to his tweet.
Yeah, so it's just one of those. I love how grumpy. I wonder, honestly, I wish I wouldn't have said anything. I was wondering how long it would have taken Grumpy Old Man to realize that that was like a gag bit. He's just getting old out there. There's Son X.
I don't think you would have ever realized.
Are we going to talk about who's going to win the Super Bowl or what?
Yes, that's the last topic of discussion. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Who do you guys have?
Oh boy. Talk about delving
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Son X pulling there for the Eagles. I'm thinking, right, because that Joshua Sills character has been cut from the team already.
Oh, they cut him?
I thought they cut him, didn't they?
No. Why would they cut him?
He just was charged for, what was it? He was charged for
rape and kidnapping. Kidnapping and rape.
Kidnap. Yeah. Just a mere rape and kidnap. That's it.
After the Super Bowl.
After the Super Bowl, then there'll be some.
That's gonna be his going away gift.
But here's the thing: I think that Philadelphia is a better team. I think they have the better offensive and defensive lines. I think their defense is phenomenal. But I changed my mind on picking Kansas City. The reason being, you got this Sills guy kidnapping and raping people. I know he's a backup, but it's still going to be a problem. You got Brendan Graham is complaining about the New York Giants. Obviously, y'all are not focused on the game at hand. Somebody goes, one of the Giants ripped on the head coach, and he's going after the player. I'm like, what do you do? You're playing the Super Bowl next week. What are you doing? What are you doing talking about an argument with the New York Giants player? I mean, what's wrong with you? That's why I'm picking Kansas City. Philadelphia doesn't seem focused.
This is the news that just came out like 14 hours ago. New information. Eagles rookie guard Josh Sills, who is indicted on rape and kidnapping charges, is a native of Ohio. This week allegedly forced a woman to perform oral sex on him, according to a police report obtained by TMZ. 25-year-old engaged in sexual activity that was not consensual and held the victim against her will in the alleged
19?
Yes. But this is my thing, though. I'm like, what timing of this? December 5th, 2019. Prosecutor said, and in the report, it says that Sills allegedly forced a woman to perform oral sex on him for approximately 20 minutes in his car and his truck around 2 a.m. until he did his thing.
It took him 20 minutes? What's he on steroids? I mean, shit, he couldn't get it up. He couldn't get it up. Took him 20 minutes to get a blowjob?
Which resulted in the woman sustaining bruising in the back of her throat, her lip, her
How do they know?
ear.
How do they know? How do they know? Did she take a picture of the back of her throat?
They said they took photos of the alleged victims.
Oh my God.
In the report.
Who knows what else she was down?
Giving her and her cousin a ride back to her cousin's home, blah, 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 local cafe. I didn't think anything of it, shut the door and walked into the house. Okay. So made orals. What a my God.
What a mugshot.
It looks like TJ. Looks like TJ's haircut.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Let's see, slide down.
Too much hair to be TJ's haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's the way he combs it, though.
Yeah, sure it is.
But I'm just kind of astounded that this comes out just as they're going to the Super Bowl after 4 years. It's 4 years.
They didn't need that ammunition until now.
I don't know what's going on with that one. It's not right. I worry more about them also saying they're worried about what happened with the Giants. Dude, you're on to the Super Bowl. Hey, guys, sorry, we're not answering any more questions on that. We're focused on the next game. That's how you answer questions like that. Where it's like, what do you think about what happened to the Giants? Or I don't even know what the hell the question was. I mean, you should be 100% focused on the Super Bowl right now.
It tells me you're not focused on the game. Just not.
Alexander says the Chiefs will win. I'm thinking that I'm thinking the Chiefs probably win. I think the league wants the Chiefs to win, but I'm pulling for the Eagles. I'm a Giants fan. I hate the Eagles. I hate everything that Philadelphia embodies. I hate Philly fans. You know, if Philly wins, you have to worry about the death toll in Philly is going to be something like 3,000 out-of-towners will die because Philly fans are going to go on a rampage that night, but I'm still pulling for Philly, I guess. But Drew L says, Chiefs, Chiefs, Chiefs. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts. This team has carried him to the Super Bowl.
They're really, really good in the trenches.
Here's
the thing. For me, like I said, my perspective is they're better on the offensive and defensive lines. Their defensive line is like phenomenal. They're the best team in the league against the pass. Their offensive line is tremendous. I think they're going to own the line of scrimmage, but I always worry when teams don't seem focused on task at hand. They usually wind up losing for some reason.
Here's the thing, too. The Eagles beat a bad Giants team and a fourth-string quarterback for the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying, like, hey,
they annihilated both teams.
Just because they had an easy path, it doesn't, discredit where they are. But they didn't have a tough path getting there. That's all I'm going to say.
The Chiefs played Jacksonville.
I'm not a believer in Jalen.
Yeah, but the Chiefs they rolled over Jacksonville, and, they got a little bit of help to beat Cincinnati.
Okay. Alexander says, I'm not a believer in Jalen Hurts. And D-Cut says, TJ, pull up some pics on her on 90210. What a hottie, Megan Fox.
Tiffany. Oh, I thought you were talking about Tiffany Amber Thiessen, who's 50.
Maybe. I don't know. Andrew L.
Grumpy, who won the fist fights back in the day between these two bald-headed jerks? TJ.
God, wasn't even close. Absolutely, TJ.
TJ is way bigger than Son X. Now, Son X is tall, but TJ's just more stout, shall we say.
Keep it nice.
Yeah, say it like that. And we got here Drill saying Tony Chi's best friend is Josh Sills, by the way. Okay, well, gotcha. I'll have to ask about that. CBS had an intervention with Tony Romo after the Chiefs game.
Yeah, he almost let that slippage go. I saw that video.
What happened?
He almost let the N-word slip.
What?
Oh shit!
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No,
did not see it.
Look it up. It's on YouTube.
Give me a sec. Tony Romo. Okay. Well, hey, Grumpy, you keep reading comments, Grumpy, as I'm getting that pulled.
This is some of the cutting edge stuff that Stenex needs to bring to the program. He just got, I saw that. You need to be bringing.
Well, I was also going to mention I think Nick Bosa was getting harassed by fans at the San Francisco game before going in to watch. Which one plays? Is it Joey Bosa plays for the Chargers?
It doesn't matter.
Well, whoever it was getting harassed by the fans. It was a pretty good video.
Joey Bosa plays for the Chargers.
Okay, so he was getting harassed going into the San Francisco game, obviously to cheer on his brother, and they were giving him absolute shit the whole entire time.
That's the type of stuff we need to see. See?
Okay,
here we go. Tony Romo.
Just listen, Grumpy. You just listen now.
The extra yards, the tough yards, the finish on the play. Right there, you got three. Talked about this.
Yeah, he had to correct himself.
What's that? Okay, I need to listen to something that wasn't going to be like as slowed down. Jesus Christ! I'd rather just listen to it live.
The extra yards, the tough yards, the finish on the play. Right there, you got three. Talked about this, the best tackling team. The extra.
I don't know. It's tough to tell what the hell he's doing. He's kind of like I don't know. Doesn't really sound too crazy or inflammatory, but who the heck knows?
I'm assuming that's what it was for.
The whole thing surrounded Julian Love, I think, and the Eagles just didn't like his comments.
Okay. Here you go.
That's her, Tiffany Amber Thiessen. She was a little hottie patati back in the day.
Okay. Well, there you go. Moving along. Let's get this pulled up here. Okay. And Drew L. Grumpy.
Did you see Bo Horvat is going to be wearing a fisherman, but representing the Pacific?
I did see that. Mm-hmm.
I don't care. It's the All Star. Well, it's the All Star game.
And there you go. Drew L. Grumpy
had his certified Peter Griffin moment.
There it is. He accidentally said the N-word, or almost did. I'll take a look at it, Alexander. Steve
Grumpy,
Gordon.
did you cry when TJ's college team spiked it on 4th down during a game-winning drive? No, I was astounded that the coaches were so dumb. Honestly, I'm like, it's 4th down. Everyone knew it was 4th down. Everyone in the stands knew it was a 4th down, and they're spiking the ball. And here's the thing. Ultimately, you got to blame the quarterback on that. You don't spike it. I don't care what they say. It's 4th down. You don't spike it because the coach tells you that, and then the coaches blame themselves. I'm like, yeah, no shit, dumbass. Not being aware of the situation. Probably a little bit too much drinking on the sideline. Didn't know what down it was. Or maybe they couldn't count to 4. Like I said, most of those football players, Stephen Porter, pretty dumb.
Alexander, I did not get what you sent me on Facebook. And Andrew L. said, that Joey Bosa needs to be shown. I don't know. So we got yelled at. I'll take a look at it.
Says TJ pulled up pictures 30 years after her prime.
I was about to say, she's looking kind of a little old and raggedy.
Oh, this is 50, dude. You got to get the young pictures. He's just saying pictures from Beverly Hills 90210. That was not it.
What's going on over there?
Sorry, I dropped something.
Oh.
What the hell? Drop this marble.
Here you go, Grumpy. Is this better? Does this make amends?
There we go. Much better.
See, she looks way better there, don't you think?
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. There you go.
Oh boy, hey, they don't show that too long.
We're trying to move on there, Grumpy. I'm trying to get now pulled up. You said Joey Bosa got harassed.
Yeah, harassed by fans going into the San Francisco game.
Joey Bosa, Eagle fans. Okay.
Listen here, X. When you see something like that, you got to send it to TJ ahead of time.
Oh, noted.
Oh, God. I'll pull this up. This is Eagle fans at its finest. That's for certain. Jesus Christ. Okay. We'll watch this here. Sorry, it's on a shitty view, but we'll try our best.
Hey, when did the Chargers play this week?
Are you Snapchatting your little butt buddies?
No, I'm just videoing you. The guy who's not playing today.
Okay. Look at the shoes. Look at the damn boots the girl is wearing. First of all, here's the thing.
How are those fines, Bosa? So can I. Me too.
Look, what
a comeback, baby. I'm rich. I can afford them.
Me too.
Okay, what should he have done?
Ignored it and walked away.
Again.
No, Shad, just shut the fuck up and keep walking.
These bosses they're just the new JJ Watts, the two of them. That is
he only has his entire family pulling on him, trying to drag him away from the situation. He just can't help himself.
You can tell, I think Joey Bosa's had a few alcoholic beverages.
Why are you talking to the people? Why on God's
This is
green
pretty
earth are you mixing it up?
I'm sorry.
Why are you mixing it up with the Philadelphia fans? What is wrong with you?
You should know better there, Joey.
I mean, what are you, a dumbass?
He had one too many
And
Bud
then he
Lights.
goes- Going back and forth. Uh-oh. D-Cut says Sunex dropped the soap.
Yeah, I got the shit kicked out of
And he
me.
also says rookie mistake by Senex.
Sunex, nice to meet you, brother. You guys are definitely blessed with a wonderful family. Well, thank you, Alexander.
Thank you.
Rookie mistake by Sunex. Dropping the soap. Don't do it.
It is. But man, we are here at the end of our first show featuring Sun X.
It will get better. It will get better.
It's the first few shows. It's going to take a while till everybody's gelling the way it needs to be. But what do you want to say before we wrap things up, Grumpy?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ, Sunex, and the Grumpy Old Man.
Thank you so much, Grumpy Old Man. And Sun X, what do you want to say before we wrap things up?
Everybody have a good one. Appreciate you guys welcoming me out and love the comments.
Maybe you should say, hey, next time I'll talk more.
There.
That as well.
But thank you so much, everybody, for listening to the show. We will be covering the Super Bowl probably live. That's what we're going to do that Sunday when we return. So
Yeah, we'll definitely be on for the Super Bowl. Definitely.
Absolutely. Once we get back from vacation. So next time we'll see you guys live during some NFL Super Bowl action. Until
And we'll
then,
see some of it. Maybe we'll see some of the Eagles guys get arrested on the sidelines. See some of them scrapping with Giant fans in the stands, not playing on the field as they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning and listening. We'll see you guys Super Bowl Sunday. Until then, have a great Friday. Today was Thursday, right? You can start to see the weekend poking its head out over what, Grump?
Yes, it's Thursday. Say goodbye.
Thank
you.
Say
Say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie.
Yeah. Your lag on your freaking audio, Grumpy. You need to get your Wi-Fi sorted out, Grumpy. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you guys Super Bowl Sunday.